Good Meridian. How is everyone doing out there? Hopefully, this is the first day in a long string of days where we are getting back to the morning streams. I know several of y'all have been asking for that for a while. You miss Rock 808 in the morning on your drive to work, or maybe listening to DFK content in the background while you're at work, or whatever the case is. We've also got a lot of viewers that are in other parts of the world where this is a much better time to listen to DFK content than later on in the evenings in the United States. I know that I've been missing several of my overseas viewers, so I'm glad to be back. Hopefully this will be a long string of days where we are back on target with multitudes of hours each day. Stomposaurus, Ghost Panda, Tim Butters, welcome on into chat. Great to see y'all here. I have no idea exactly what we're going to be doing this morning. I'm going to try to get back on my normal early morning routine, which the first things that we used to do was always look at the charts and the market, macro market in general, global economy. TuneFed, good Meridian to you. How are you doing? And then we're going to, of course, after we talk about the markets a little bit, we're going to get into DFK specific material. I'm going to try to do, man, it's so much that I want to do. Digital Sniper, Mookie in the house. Hey, so great to see everybody pouring in here. It's so quickly too. We've only been streaming for, what, just a couple of minutes here. Oh my goodness. 2 minutes? Wow. Already got a nice group of people in here. All these names I recognize. Feels like sitting around a campfire or something with family, just talking about stuff. Speaking of sitting around a campfire, you know, one thing I would like to do is I want to try to remember to do this more often, and that is in the Darlanta's Discord. Let's just come over to Darlanta's Discord and make sure that I pop into the gaming section for voice channels. And so if anybody wants to drop in anytime during the stream, I kind of want to make that a regular thing that y'all can just drop in. So again, on the Darlanta's Discord and the voice channels and gaming, if anybody wants to hop on, say something, or get into a conversation about any topics, feel free to do so. Oh, speaking while we're here in the DeFi Kingdoms section, look at this lovely mythic, my very first mythic. I won from Brown Gent's giveaway a few days ago, right after he won a Gen0. And it's a nice pirate archer, Gen 1, 10 of 10 mythic. It is indeed my very first mythic that I've ever owned. Yeah. Well, I guess we don't need to go to the Twitter thing for it. What I want to do at some point here is show that card. Well, I guess I could do it from right here, huh? Let's see. Oh, it's on the other realm. Oh, no. Let's not look at it here. There's such a better place to be looking at these things, guys. So what I was about to do, if you didn't know, or if it wasn't obvious, I was about to come in here into the game in the DeFi Kingdoms and look at the card, and you know how we can flip the card around and look at it and all this other kind of stuff, and then we can look at our little pages right in here. But guys, if y'all have not seen DFK today, let's see, do I have a bookmark for it already? I should, but I might not. Oh man, I don't think I do. Otherwise it would be sitting right out here in the open. So let's look up DFK today. Let's see if it's in here already or not. So it does look like it is, dfktoday.com. Already in Google. And then from here, I think we just click on dashboard, or we could look up a hero, which is specifically what I want to do right now. So what are we looking at? Let's go back over to here. And what was that ID again? 92,245. I think that's going to be it. Let's try to view that hero. Looks like we need another 0 in there. There we go. So DFK Today, put together by Christian Peter, awesome member of the DFK community. And what we've got going on right now is a pirate archer, and you can see all of the pages back flipped, which is really nice. Owned by Solar the Fox. That's interesting. Let's see here. We have got foraging for the profession, which is pretty good. I can always use some more foragers. Mythic, and let's see, I don't think I've looked too closely at some of the other stuff back here. Looks like it doesn't have any advanced stuff, but that's okay with me. Yeah, very nice. Looks like the value is somewhere probably around 541 crystal. But we are not going to be selling this or doing anything. We are going to be getting this beauty ready for PvP. This is going to be one of my very first PvP heroes. Like I said, the very first Mystic that I own. But I wanted to show off DFK Today, if y'all had not seen that yet. And actually, tell you what, let's even do. Let's check out a little bit more stuff. Let's go to the dashboard. I think most of y'all have checked out DFK Today already. Guess we can log in using MetaMask. Let's see, let's catch up in chat here. Those are the best mornings. Yes, DFK mornings are the best mornings. Your video gets announced on the Mythic Squad announcements when you go live. Oh, wow. Shout out to Mythic Squad for making that available right off the bat. It's very cool. Ghost Panda says, Rock's voice goes well with some coffee. That's nice to hear. A little bit of morning coffee there, start your day off. I remember a long time ago when I was a young kid, staying over at my grandparents' house, you know, doing a sleepover at the grandparents' house and waking up like on the weekends, and my grandparents would be in there making breakfast, whether it was pancakes or something, some kind of French toast, whatever it was that they were making for our breakfast. And they would listen to these morning radio shows, very calming but informative. And it was a great way that I guess my grandparents started their day. It's been a while since I've started with morning radio talk show, but I definitely like that on the drive into work. When I go in, it's nice. Sergeant Filthy McNasty, wow, welcome on in. Glad you are one of the people, by the way, that got me started or had been requesting that I get back to doing the morning streams. I know that listening to me in the morning for you had been something fun and interesting. So it was actually your show last night. In fact, if y'all have not seen Sergeant Filthy McNasty's live stream from last night, I think almost everybody's name in here I remember from the stream. But if y'all haven't seen that, absolutely go check out his stream. In fact, man, there's just so much to do. We are going to get back to this, but let's take a look at Sergeant. Man, do I have to spell this all the way out? Why isn't it? I think Sergeant's famous enough that it ought to get pulled up immediately. But this is it right here. We're not going to listen to it really. But I do want to hop in here. I'll drop a link for it into the chat room in case any of y'all like to just get in there right from that. But I must say, this was a super fun game show. Sergeant's going to have different hosts on. Let's see if we can jump ahead a little bit. Oops, maybe a little bit past that, where we get this little icon off. There we go. So, really good. Nice panel of different content creators. If y'all have not seen this yet, it looks like Sergeant is going to have a different set of people on a couple of days a week. Is that right? Or once a week? What, Sergeant, if you're driving or in the middle of work, of course, don't feel obligated to type into your phone or anything like that. But what is your schedule, or how often are you going to be doing these things? This was a lot of fun. And I think we've got so many great people in the community that Sergeant will have no problem doing regular shows like this. It's kind of a debatey talk show type thing. Questions getting asked and answered. And then, of course, there was a fun gamification of it as well. I wonder if, I think it was just kind of arbitrary points last time. It was very interesting. I wonder if that will get polished up, or if Sergeant has any plans, or if it's going to continue to just be goofy. But whatever the case is, the whole show was a blast. So if y'all have not seen this, definitely get out there and try to figure out when Beeve and Mosh switch places. That's going to be my little game for y'all. Give me a timestamp sometime later on, maybe in Discord, because I might miss it if you just say it here in chat. So maybe send it to the Darlantis Discord, maybe in the DFK section under Darlantis, DFK. You've got stuff. Maybe pass in here when you think Beeve and Mosh do a little switcheroo there. Anyway, I thought that might be kind of fun for y'all. All right, let's see. Let's get back to some of the stuff that we're doing. We're talking about DFK today. I thought we were logging in with MetaMask. Let's go ahead and sign that. Get in here. If y'all have not seen DFK today, I will drop a link. But again, always be very cautious of clicking links from people. Oftentimes it's best just to go there, do the lookup yourself, and then definitely I need to bookmark this, which I'm going to do right now. And we're going to put that under the DFK section. Done. All right. So let me get back in chat and catch up here. Stumposaurus. Just a great. That is great. It's just to stare at the purple shininess for all. Yeah. Just to see that purple. This is, like I said, my first purple in my wallet, so really nice. Cheapest mythic for sale, 820 crystal right now. Oh my goodness. So that's very interesting. You know, the page we were looking at a minute ago showed the DFK, or the DFK Today page was showing 521, but it looks like Stomposaurus is saying the cheapest mythic, if you're just going for the cheapest one, is 820. So man, that's good. Yeah, some of those prices might not be completely dialed in yet, and of course prices are always in fluctuation, and I definitely don't think I've got the greatest mythic, but man, this, I'm sure excited to have this one right here. And I think even more so because it was from Brown Gent. How often do you get to win a prize from Brown Gent? So it was very nice. Let's see here. Let's catch up. Mookie, great stream last night with Sergeant. Absolutely. Sergeant requested a morning stream. I couldn't stay up for his last night. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Sergeant, for quite a while, you know, when we used to do morning streams on a regular basis, Sergeant would be joining us, whether it was on his drive into work or, you know, lurking in the background while he was doing some actual work, whatever it was. And he was quite a bit of a regular here, I guess, in the morning. And then, of course, we Took a break from the morning streams. My goodness, I guess I've been away from the morning streams for about a month now. I think the Miami trip probably is what kind of initially put a stop to that. Or maybe in Miami, you could say I was doing some morning streams as well. But then I started having that cough, and I guess for almost the entire month of December, we weren't doing those. So hopefully this will be the first day in a long stretch of morning days again. Some source said you all should rotate group, hang on someone's channel every Friday night. That would be interesting. You're talking about doing rotation for the hosts, right? I think we almost do that already in a way. There's so many content streamers. I know Grady had a bunch of people on. I know that Bogside Chats, Mythic Squad have had a bunch of people. Of course, I'd like to make my stream open to people jumping on a little bit more. And like I said, we've got the voice channel in Discord open. If anybody wants to jump on, I've always wanted to do that, and I'm going to try to make it a habit to be in Discord for when anyone wants to jump in. Let's see. Kardashians, watch out, Sergeant says. I'm not sure how often, but do one of those at least once a month. Okay, so Sergeant says at least once a month for those shows. I know it takes a lot of effort to put on something like that, to coordinate with so many people and to try to figure out a fun way to do the questions and all that. So it is a bit of work, plus to find the time in your personal life to be able to get that set up. The coordinating the schedules, yeah, that's it. Absolutely. I think there are going to be some people that might be a little bit more fluid than others. But yeah, definitely when you start getting 6, 8, 10 people all together in the same place, that's a little tricky. So congratulations to you just for being able to do that. Need to watch around the horn. Absolutely. Good points like that. Absolutely. Yeah. ESPN stuff, yes. I think we're going to start to see more ESPN game-related type of things, even dealing with... why is this taking so long to build this inventory? But I think we're going to see more DSK-related... DFK? Is that what I said? Related stuff coming up here. And gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, I really need to hop back into Fight Club's new game. If y'all haven't seen that, the dungeon crawler, we need to try to make it down to the deepest levels of that dungeon. PvE stuff with PvP mixed in. I'm excited for that too. Let's see. TuneFed says, 1 pet. Gasps. Yeah, I only have 1 pet at the moment, if that's what you're referring to. TuneFed. Sergeant says, I bet just in that wallet though. No, I think I only own, if you're talking about me, then yeah, I think I only own 1 pet, believe it or not. Is that site good? Eaton says, the DFK Today Show, yes. So it is really good. I'm trying to get onto that. In fact, let's take a few moments out right at this moment to talk and focus. Let me see if I can focus a little bit more on DFK Today website. So of course we saw from the first page, it has a way that we could look up, do a specific hero lookup or a pet lookup if we wanted to look up specific pets. Like the fact that, so we've got our dashboard a little bit and some links off on the side. We can take a look at heroes, tavern stuff, pets, tokens. We've got our dashboard link over here. I like the night view personally, but I guess y'all can choose different things. Looks like we've got a settings button here. I think this is a settings button. Oh, color, no color. That's what it is. So rather than a black and white, let's go for a color. And then there's a log out button there. So really nice to be able to have all of the tokens right here at a glance. I know that sometimes it's really nice to see what's happening right there. It looks like we've got a 25-cent jade. I mean, yeah, no, 20% crystal. Oh, I'm all over the place. let me rephrase that. It's not jade or crystal. A 25-cent jewel token right here. Really nice to see that kind of pumping up a little bit. And then we have crystal at 10 cents, 10.5 cents, just about there. So crystal's come up a little bit over the last day or so. Jade, I'm sorry, Clayton, clay token, is at 19 cents. And jade is at a little over 13.5 cents. So really nice to see those. Looks like they're popping up a little bit. And as we get into more of the general market, I think we're going to see that Bitcoin is up overall as well. In fact, let's just hop over there real quick and we'll notice that Bitcoin has been up over the last few days as well. We know the rising tide raises all ships. And so I think that has a little bit to do with some of this. But also I think it's not just crypto in general, but there have been so many really good things happening in the DFK space specifically that I think we're seeing a good pump from that as well. All right, so what can DFK today do for us? I still have not looked at every single thing that it can do. Certainly, of course, you've got your dashboard over here. And this dashboard is really nice. So I've noticed the last 3 times that I've been in here, when I first land on the dashboard page immediately, there's a couple of bars across the top that says loading, 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 and it seems to load forever. I've found that if I click off to another page over here and then back to the dashboard, it seems to load the pages. I don't know if that's a quirk or a bug or if it really just takes that long, and when I'm doing something on another page, then it finally starts to load over that time. But anyway, the dashboard has some really great stuff. So I've got 1 pet over here. That is all I've got. And 59 heroes in this wallet, I guess, right now. I've moved around a couple of my heroes to one of my other, I think my Rock 808B account, which y'all have seen me play in a couple of times. And I need to spread out some of my some of the stuff that I'm doing, like the gardens specifically. I've got so many gardeners now that I need more gardens and more garden space. And I also have enough miners that I need to have multiple wallets for those miners as well. So as you start to get more heroes, you're going to find that you start to need more wallets if you want to take full advantage of the questing for those things. Let's see. So here we see I've only got 1 mythic and 3 legendaries. Of course, my best heroes are right here in this wallet, so we have quick, easy access to them when I show things off. So that 1 mythic that we got from Brown Gent, 3 legendaries, and I think I know all 3 of those legendaries are the Gen 0s that I own, and then one of these rares is another Gen 0 that I own. But as you can see, majority of my heroes are uncommons and commons that I just pulled from the floor. They've been my workers. And I really do feel it's probably a good thing to have is some workers to bring in some value for you on a regular basis. Really need a bot to be doing that, and DFK Helper has been fantastic. But I've also got a couple of other wallets that I'm using with Waifu that they don't really have as much going on in them. I don't need to necessarily do duels and all this kind of stuff. I want to talk about DFK Helper a little bit more today too, because as I had mentioned in Sergeant's stream last night, Coolio and Zillies went above and beyond the other day to get me a little bit more help and work on a few things that I was working on, specifically buying items and stuff. And so right now, maybe let me just step aside real quick and just say, one of the things that I started doing with the items is buying tiers on a regular basis, right? So I've got some stuff set up, and every couple of hours I'm buying more tiers. And DFK Helper is one of the things that's allowing me to do that on a regular basis. you could say DCAing in. But I've got all that stuff, and I need to up this a little bit more. I'm eventually going to increase this to a larger amount, but right now I just don't have enough funds in the game to buy 20,000 tiers. Anyway, I thought I'd point that out, and we'll get back to that in a minute, but right now I really want to talk about DFK today a little bit more and focused. So here we've got the top 5 traded pairs in DFK today, down on the bottom right, where we can see Crystal Jewel, Jewel USDT, Wrapped Clay and Jewel, Avox, Crystal, Jade, Jewel, and then we've got some buys and sells and the amount. So these are the top 5 traded. And of course, we could check all if we wanted. I think this is getting pulled from Deck Screener, if I'm correct. Let's go ahead and click this check all and see where that sends us. Oh, it is still in here in DFK today. Wow, okay. It's very good. So we've got lots of pages to look at a lot of these top things. And then of course we can sort based on all these kind of things as well. So if we want the number of transactions, we can do that kind of thing and check out everything there. Really nice. And then there was a search in the top too, if you didn't notice that. I guess I'll come back here just for a minute. So if you wanted to search for a keyword, maybe like tiers, for example, then you could see all of the different trading pairs with tiers, whether that was with DFK Gold or Crystal or Clay and all this kind of stuff. You can see the number of transactions, and we can sort based on that as well. What are we... I'm not sure what we're looking at here specifically. Not sure that this is sorting properly, or maybe it's in an order that I don't understand. Let's check out this. So this looks like this. Oh, ooh. So maybe, oh, I get it now. The sorting is a little bit wrong. I don't know if we'll probably talk with Christian about it, but it looks like the sorting is based on 1s before 2s, before 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's what's called an ASCII sort when you're sorting based on the characters rather than a numeric sort, which would be based on, of course, the numeric values. So probably it's just in the programming languages, it's just a matter of doing the proper type of sort. So we need to have Christian Peters look into this and do a numeric sort rather than alphabetic or ASCII sort. But other than that, I'm sure that'll get fixed up soon. But we can sort based on all kinds of other things in here. Prices of these tiers. Looks like we've got a little bit of an opportunity for some arbitrage, maybe? Let's see. Because all these tokens are a little bit different price than each other, might be a little bit hard. I'm sure there are bots that are doing most of the arbitrage already. But let's see, we've got I'm interested to know, are these in different realms, do you think? So here we've got tiers and DFK Gold. Oh, this is the reverse price of that. Okay. Yeah, so really nice to be able to see the different tokens, be able to focus in on those. And I thought even we could do things like click on some of these, but maybe not. Maybe it was a different screen I was looking at. Anyway, back to the dashboard we go for DFK today. So we've got our crystal, locked crystal, seed jewel amounts, investment or inventory estimated totals. This is, I guess, what I was thinking about, where you could see these numbers and you click on it, and then you can drill down and get more information about those things here. So you can see the number of Gaia tiers, the amount of amber taffy, and all that kind of stuff that you have, and the price of that, the quantity. So that's pretty cool. I remember seeing something like this maybe on like DFK Tavern, or there was something, I think, that showed a inventory very similar to this. So I'm glad, but I think that ended up going away. So I'm glad to see it back. The DFK Tracker was the old app. Yeah, it did this. Yeah, absolutely. And so it's really nice to see that we've got access to something like this back again. If I click on the Sea Jewel amount, it switches over to a dollar amount. So I can see it's about $229 worth of locked crystal, or 2,000, or of course my crystal there, 195 US dollars worth from that. Let's see, and then I guess we can close out our inventory. We've got our jade and locked jade, so it's broken down as far as Crystal Vale and Serendale sections, which is nice to see. And then of course the stuff that I've got in the gardens and a little bit more here. Again, clicking on those, you know, one thing that I would like to see is the amount of US dollars that I have in the pool. So one of the things that I'm doing right now every day is I'm coming to the bank where I can see the pools that I have, and I can see the US dollar value of those pools, and I'm keeping track of the value of this stuff. It'd be really nice if I didn't have to keep going to the bank to do that. And if DFK today, right in here, could help show those, maybe even with the click of a button or something. But here you can easily see the pool allocation rewards, the total supply, the total deposit, if you wanted to see any of that. So I think that's really cool. And then of course the default screen for it is the realm that you've got it in, of course the pair. The realm shows how much I have deposited and my pool shares. So as you can see, don't own a lot in some of these, but I do like the bank's view where I can easily see the US dollar amounts right there. So maybe we'll get that added soon. Okay, so let's go check out some other things. The heroes. One of the things I really like about DFK today is we've got a colorful little chart with all of our heroes, of course. We can sort them based on all kinds of things, so I can easily see my Gen0s pop up. I see that their stamina is full or not full. Now, one of the things that I think I'd like to see, look at all these that say stamina full, but my bet is, because I've got bots working, is that if I come back over here, these guys that are full, these Gen0s that are full stamina, they are on quests, right? Let's refresh this page. And in a way, I kind of wish that as soon as we sent our heroes out on a quest, I wish that they would immediately drop in stamina down to 0. We know that there's been a change in the last month or so where if you stop a quest in the middle of it, you lose all your stamina, right? And so, well, I should say you lose the amount of stamina that you are planning to spend. So for example, if I go out and send this guy on a gardening quest to use up all the stamina, then even if I stop him 10 minutes into the quest, he still loses all the stamina. However, it is true that if you try to send them on a quest, but you specifically at the beginning, when you're sending them out, only send them for a certain amount of stamina, then of course they don't lose all their stamina, they just lose all the stamina that they would have been spending. And so it would really be nice if, I guess this is a DFK dev team type of thing, but it'd be really nice that when they're on their quest, they immediately drop down so it doesn't show full, right? Because there's no reason for it to show full there. Because if you cancel, you're going to end up having some lower amount. All right. And so anyway, DFK today is just showing that amount here, which is not quite accurate, I'd say, but there's nothing that DFK today can really do about it. So use what you got. If we click on the hero ID numbers, this pulls up, of course, the hero ID, and you can see a very quick glance of the hero. My lovely Gen0 Pirate Priest. And then if you click on the hero number, I thought there was some place. Maybe this got changed. I thought you could click on the number or the card and it would immediately show all of the information on one screen like we saw a little earlier. But even if not, you can flip it over and you still have access to all of the stats here. So you can see when I bought this Gen0 126 days ago for 23,500 crystal. And I wonder how much crystal cost 126 days ago. We're not going to go hunt that down right now. But my bet is that it was a bit more than it is today. And Gen0 is still going for about 23,000 crystal. But I think I paid a bit more for it 126 days ago. Or I take that back, maybe not a lot more, because 126 days is, I think we might have already had the big price drops. In fact, I'm pretty sure we did, because I know I was not buying Gen0s at the peak of the thing. Anyway, so we've got all of our nice little stats for that, so it's really good. Let's see. Sorting based on any of this kind of stuff, and of course looking up based on keywords as well. Let's take a look at the tavern. DFK today is going to show us the tavern as well. Looks like it's taking a moment to load. Maybe a little bit longer than I wanted to take. Take a quick look at the pet section. Maybe it just needs to load in the background. Maybe it'll keep loading in the background. So it looks like I have got a pet right here. Only one, unfortunately. We do know that we're going to want a lot more pets. So don't do as I'm doing. I think you probably want to follow what many of us are saying. And that's to make sure that you're prepared. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to hatch a bunch of eggs today. Or even buy eggs today. But definitely you need to be thinking about how you're going to manage your heroes for Profession 10 level questing when they are going to be doing so much better with pets attached to those heroes, right? If you do not have pets for all of your heroes, you need to at least start thinking about what you're going to do with those. Because even for me, with a lot of common and uncommon heroes, I'm still going to want some pets, I think, attached to those, especially now that my heroes, most of them, if we come back over to my heroes and look at the levels of my heroes, I do have some level 1s, but I also have quite a few that are a bit higher. In fact, let's just go ahead and do a down. So several that are 9s and 8s. You saw there were some that were level 10s over here as well. 11s and 12s, a couple. And so once they start getting higher levels, we need pets for those for sure. Let's go back to the tavern, see if that's loaded up yet. Hope it's not going to take more than a minute every single time we come on this page. This could be a good time for me to catch him in chat. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Very nice prize at that rock. Yeah, the not the Gen0, the Gen 1 from Brown Gent is a really nice thing there. Oh, and the prize, you're talking about the prize from Sergeant, were you giving out prizes? I'm not sure I was paying a lot of attention to that. Let's see. Eden says, Rock, is DFK today legit and safe? Yes, I would say that it is. Of course, like anything in crypto, you have to be aware of what you're dealing with. So DFK Today is a website that Christian Peter is putting together. I'm not sure if he's the sole programmer behind this. I do know that he knows some coding, and so he's been working on this and some other things. I'm not sure if he's got a couple of other people helping him out with this or not, but as long as you trust Christian Peter, which I think I do, then the site should be good. Also, we are connecting our wallet, but like anything else, you're going to have to confirm with MetaMask if there's anything trying to be taken out of your wallet. So just make sure that when you are signing things that you know what you're signing. But yeah, I feel very confident that DFK Today is going to be a good site. It's safe. See, Sergeant says, as Note Rock, no obligation on keeping those morning streams. Oh, yeah, I know that there's no obligation to do those, but I've really wanted to do these morning streams. And it's just, people like you that let me know that they are missed or were missed and that they're valuable to you is something that helps the motivation to keep doing those things, right? I think that's something that a lot of content creators probably need to hear more of. If y'all hadn't thought about that, is I remember a couple of years ago, I was streaming some game that I really loved. Maybe it was Forge of Empires. I know I streamed Forge of Empires for a little bit, and NetHack, and there's one or two other games that I did as well for just a little bit of time. And those games I loved to death, but they weren't specifically very popular as far as streaming and an audience for streaming content. And so I would stream for hours and hours a day to like one or two people. And even though I loved doing it, over some amount of time, it did kind of fall out of favor, I guess, with me, because it's like there's a little bit of work or stuff behind doing some things, and when you know that you've only got one person watching you or two people watching you, then it's hard to justify that time. There's a lot of other things that I could be doing and that all of us could be doing with our time rather than putting on a stream or something like that. And even if we enjoy doing it, if you've only got one or two viewers, and maybe things would change. So definitely the reason that a lot of these streams and content are getting put out is because y'all are out there consuming this content. So thanks to y'all, really, for helping motivate us and keep us going. Let's see. If you're like, you need a minute to refresh those batteries once in a while. Yeah, I think in December, for me in the morning streams, the getting sick there in December and then having it really stretch out. It wasn't like it was just a 2-day sickness or 3 days. I was coughing for like 4 or 5 weeks and had other stuff going on. Finally, the tavern loads. Look at that. And because of all that, and because of the extended amount of time, I was away from it for so long. In fact, I don't think I've got a scratchiness in my throat anymore, but maybe I still feel a little rough in the throat. Maybe I don't even know if that is true. Maybe I'm out of practice of talking so much is part of the issue. Anyway, we'll get back into track with all that. But thanks a lot, Sergeant. And absolutely, if I do need a break, just like any one of us that are doing some streams, always good to keep mentally and emotionally healthy, all that kind of stuff, and physically too, of course. Let's see, some source. Eden today is some source says DFK Today is being built by Christian Peter. Absolutely, a known community member. Absolutely, I trust it, but I know it's still in development, so maybe not 100% ready for public yet. Yeah, even if you trust anybody, any one of us, right? keep in mind there can always be a bug that does something unexpectedly, right? And so I guess for that aspect, we should all always be careful, or at least aware of what we're doing. So in other words, if I was to do something here and my MetaMask pops up for a, asking me to do something, even though I trust Christian Peter, I would probably still want to read what the website is asking for me to do. Does it just want read access? Does it just want to be able to check my balances and all that kind of thing so it can display them on the dashboard? Or is it trying to get access to spend money? And that could be legitimate also, right? I mean, some of these websites, even if not right now, may eventually want us or be able to provide special access to things if we purchase a membership or a subscription to something. And then also maybe even with something like DFK today, in the in like the liquidity pairs or something, maybe eventually he'll even get set up where you could click on a liquidity pair and even buy into that liquidity pair or something like that through the website, right? In which case DFK today might be like a middleman or a provider of some service like that. And maybe you would give an okay to the spending of your funds to get into the liquidity pools that are provided or whatever. So anyway, just be aware of that kind of stuff, right? And of course, as people are putting together new things, always be aware there could be bugs. But I have a feeling things are pretty well tested. And as long as you're going through and making sure that your MetaMask isn't being asked to spend anything, I think we're fairly safe. Really nice UI. Absolutely right, Sergeant. It just hit me that you're on YouTube this AM. Should we expect you to use YouTube most exclusively? No. I do plan to do my morning streams on Twitch as I have done in the past, but since I have been away from streaming for so long, so guys, normally my morning streams are on Twitch. There is a section here for Twitch, and let me drop into the chat right now. If y'all are not familiar with twitch.tv, and I do know that a lot, it's like too many DFK followers and fans are not looking at Twitch right now for much of anything. We've only got 103 followers for this game, and I guess maybe because of that, we don't even have our own picture up here. I'm not sure how we can try to get that set up through Twitch. But when we're streaming, or when other DFK streamers are on here, they will show up in this section. Just like if I go to following and categories over here and look at Sandbox as an example, then you can see that there's a bunch of live streamers streaming Sandbox. And you can see 62 viewers, 6 viewers, 1 viewer for those. And I can't wait until we have a DeFi Kingdoms stream community where we've got lots of people streaming here and getting in and doing all the stuff for this thing as well. Look at this, 69 concurrent viewers, 3,600 followers of this, right? I'm actually surprised it's that low. Only 3,000 followers for Sandbox? That does not sound right. There should be tens of thousands, I think. Or at least closer to 10,000. Anyway, whatever the case is. So definitely, I dropped the link into chat for Twitch, and I will be streaming quite a bit more on Twitch in the morning streams. So if you're not subscribed to me specifically, and maybe I should go back there and jump onto my Twitch specifically and give y'all my channel. I think most of y'all know my channel. But let me drop that into chat. We've got 729 followers here on Twitch. So many of y'all will get notified, I think. But there is a way that you can get notifications and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I will be streaming more. Looks like my last stream was last month, but this is where usually the longer streams go for all that. Let's check out the videos. Yeah, there was our decentral. Looks like, yeah, the videos in here. Another reason, another thing I need to do about Twitch is videos drop off after a month. So they don't get held around like they do on YouTube, which is one little bit of a issue. But we can always copy our videos and move them over to YouTube, which I've been planning to do as well. Anyway, back to DFK today. So let's see. We've got our tavern right now. And again, you can sort things based on generation, levels, all this other kind of stuff right in there. Ah, that little bell sounds like I just got a new follower on Twitch. Thank you very much for whoever that was. I think we'll go take a look at that sometime later. But thanks for the follow. Class rarity and all that kind of stuff. You should be able to click on the hero ID numbers and then, of course, go and look at their stuff from here as well. It's really nice. And looks like it's sorted by default based on how recent it was listed. Look at this, traits, advanced 3s. Are those 2 traits? What is the price of this? 58 crystal only. But I want to get a pirate wizard. Gardening pirate wizard. With wisdom, a green wisdom. And it looks like we have got some advanced stats right in here. It's like 58 crystal. Sales history. Looks like 48 is what this website says it's going for, should go for. They've got a 58 being sold. I think it's probably, I don't know. But with those 2 advanced, I don't know what Mythic Squad would rate that at, or Grady, because I'm not too deep into the advanced genetics. But I'm going to suspect that that's probably undervalued, underpriced at 58 crystal for having 2 advanced. Y'all let me know in chat. And in fact, let me catch up in chat. So let's see where we're at. Sergeant says, that's a great suggestion on the dollar amounts. Does Christian have a way to receive feedback? I'm sure through Discord or, you know, whenever we see Christian and YouTube channels and stuff like that. I'm not super in close contact with Christian, but I think just being able to hit him up on Discord is probably easy for some of us to do. Yeah. Should I sign in today with my wallet? I think so. Tim Butters, I hate to give advice like that myself, because I don't know, maybe I don't want to be responsible for other, you know, if there's an issue with other people doing stuff. If you feel safe about that, then go for it. I feel safe all day long with Christian Peter. There's not a single ounce of my being that thinks that we need to be cautious of Christian Peter. But like we were talking earlier, there could be a bug in some programming. I mean, we can already see there's a little bit of a bug in the sorting issue right there, perhaps. But I think in general, you probably should not have a problem with that at all. I'm not worried about it myself one bit. Let's see. Can someone check this pet ID? Sure, I can. So Mookie has given us a pet ID, and I'll go ahead and check that out real quick. I think we can just click on this bar here, view pet, click on the view pet, And here we get a fantastic viewer. I love the fact that we're seeing like all the flipped pages all at once. I really do like that a lot, so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. And so we've got a mythic rune stag, 9 stars. I don't recognize this as being an odd variant background. I guess we can check that out real quick. Shout out to Stronghold again for getting his DFK Expert infographics back online. Man. But let's check this. I'm going to send up DFK Expert stuff here. And let's scroll down through the infographics where I'm going to look for the pets. You know what might be nice? Maybe we can recommend to Stronghold some kind of a, like maybe a sidebar with kind of like a, what am I thinking of? An index or something like that in a book, or a table of contents from a book, where if I know the graphic that I want to hop to, I can just click on the index and it hops me right to that graphic. But let's hop down here. I know that he's got it. It is the pet variant stuff. And if we look into here, look at this, Inner Grove. It's got that tree and that rock there, so I'm gonna have to say that does look like a legitimate odd background. And in fact, Ghost Panda here in chat is saying it as well. So, wow. This is crazy. 9 stars, mythic, odd variant. I'm kind of blown away. I'm like, what would the price or the value of this even be? Who owns this? Is that something that it's yours, Mookie? Are you, this is yours? Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. This is probably one, you need to talk to someone in, I would say, Mythic Squad about this, right? Yeah. Definitely someone who knows a lot more about pets and how to price those. I would say this is probably one of the most valuable in the game. That's just me. Don't take my word for it. I don't really know. But the fact that you've got a 9-star mythic with an odd variant background. Oh, you say it's a bug? Oh, it's only view. You're saying it's only viewing as this in here. Is that what you're saying? Oh no. So in other words, if we take this and we go view it somewhere else, like in, oh man. Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry if this is true. If we come into pets and then the pet catalog and then come into like, is there a way to do a search in here? Like based on search by pet ID, Control V. Oh man, I already feel bad just thinking about this. No pets found. Does this just mean my pets, though? All pets, all pets. I think that's true. So how is that not? All. Everything's alls, but no pets. Look number in the DFK catalog. I think that's what I'm trying to do. Oh, just use the last bit of it? Okay. So it's smart enough to know. Apply. Still no pets found. Am I not doing something right with the pet catalog? I mean, I know I don't own any pets, and so I haven't been in here a lot, but I don't think that this is I think we probably do need the full number for it. Otherwise, it might get confused with a different type of pet, although I'm open to do everything. See, did I get that number right? 31,494, 31,494 with all those zeros, those one and all those zeros, yeah. I don't know what I'm missing. Let's check chat, maybe, oh, looks like y'all do a refresh. All right, we can do a refresh. I did click refresh. Still no pets. I am looking at the pet catalog. Comes up for you with just those numbers. Okay. But here's the issue. If we're putting in just those numbers, yeah, it's not coming up for me. Does it matter what realm I'm in? Maybe that matters, huh? Do I need to be in DFK chain when I look up the pets? Try this. So we got all the one with all the zeros in there and apply. Well, now I'm on the DFK chain and still not pulling up with that. But if we put in 31499, well then, I mean, then we see this. So this is a little bit different, isn't it? I'm not sure what to say. So of course we see automatically that the background is different, right? Owned by Mookie. This is AE2. AE2. Oh, interesting. I was thinking that maybe it was a different owner. Yeah, that's interesting. How could DFK today be doing a pet lookup that I'm 99.9% sure it is the same pet because the owner is the same, the fact that it's a mythic with 9 stars. It would be extremely odd to have the same person own a mythic 9-star with the same number, and one of those be like a Serendale pet and the other be a Crystal Veil pet that would have different numbers or something like that. Hatched yesterday, fawn grew up fast and it looks like changed his location, ran away from the little forest over here where he looks happy. And then he came to something that looks like a barren lava pit. But, yeah, that's interesting. So, I have no idea how these NFTs, like pets, get arranged. I think there was one time I might have heard that there's like a layering effect where there's a background and of course the border or the fact that it's a mythic and some other stuff get like layered on top of each other, kind of like transparency papers. And that's the only thing that's coming to mind as what to me could justify everything here being the same, except for the background image, which maybe if the background image is getting pulled in a different way, like if the website is having to say it's a mythic, so this is, we want to pull the mythic image, it's 9 stars, so we have to pull the image from here. The fact that it's a certain pet, then pull that image. And maybe, again, there's a bug that's pulling the wrong image here. But in this particular case, I would assume that it's much more likely that if there is a bug, it is with DFK today, which again, we're starting to see even more bugs with DFK today. I know it's a new project, bugs are going to get worked out, but the fact that there are bugs in here, of course, is something that we need to be aware of. But this makes me, I don't know if I want to say concerned is the right word, but it definitely makes me curious, because it's possible that the bug could be here in the DFK stuff as well. If they're, in other words, if the DFK interface is also having to piecemeal together all the parts of this pet to get the rarity, to get the background, to get all this kind of stuff, it's at least possible that something could mess up there too. Although I would have I would, at least right now, trust more the DFK site. Mookie says, look up 7595. That's the right fawn with the background. 7595. Let's take a look at that. And apply. Oh, unless you're talking about looking up over here. That one's not even found. It depends. Could be just be DFK today. Oh, 5795. Five, 795. Apply. Ah, yeah. Yeah, nice little fawn. But notice that this one, of course, is not a mythic with 9 stars and all this kind of stuff. But absolutely, it looks like this one is set to, I mean, it's good stuff there. All right. Hang on 1 second here. All right, we're back. So it looks like very interesting. I don't know what to say about that. Definitely somebody needs to look into it. In fact, let me make a note. So let me come back up to here. How far up was that? There it is. Let me plug this in again here real quick. View. All right. So I'm going to write this down somewhere, and I'm going to try to touch base with Christian, and we'll see if we can do some stuff with that. Let's see, where's my little notepad? Pet. numbered this on DFK today. All right. So we'll just keep that up in the background, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later. All right. Yeah, very interesting, Mookie. In any case, I think congratulations on this pet, because even if it's not a rare background, then don't you still have oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Pet catalog. Isn't it still a mythic, I think? Yeah, so you still got a mythic 9-star stag here, which is pretty impressive, actually. So congratulations on that, even if it's not a odd background. But now it makes me curious. I mean, they're different, so which one is actually correct? And I would assume that the DFK interface would be correct. But, I mean, if we don't have any other way to look it up, then maybe that's why no one would have reported this before. Because how would any of us know? I don't know. Very interesting. If there are other ways to look at information on pets, like with a text-based, like maybe some kind of a text interface or something, like looking behind the scenes at the blockchain information, maybe that would be a way to actually tell what the background is supposed to be, but I do not know how we would do that, or if there was any tool that could do that. Let's see. Blockchain Player 1. How are you doing? Hey Rock, eggs are cheap right now. Is that an opportunity if tiers are expected to come down eventually? So, man, I would say anything that is cheap right now is always an opportunity, would be something that I would say. If you want to go in and grab some stuff while it's inexpensive, and of course, I guess when we say inexpensive, it's all relative, right? If we take a look at, oh man, Bitcoin just shot up today. But let's take a look at eggs, and you're saying eggs. Let's just take a look at, like the green eggs compared to Jewel. Looks like 213, 122 for the gray. And then if we come in here and take a closer look at that, we can see that it looks like the eggs are a little up right now, actually. But that's just recently, right? That's just in the last day. If you look out further, they're certainly cheaper today than they've been for most of the month of December, and certainly when you go back towards September and October, definitely eggs are cheaper. And this is just the green. The gray, of course, could be a little bit different. But I would say today, right now, with this massive spike, might not be a fantastic time to buy necessarily. Usually when you see something shoot up a lot like that, you're going to see a bit of a dip down back again. But it is very possible that you could be in a situation where it would just dip down a little bit and then shoot up even higher, dip down a little bit and then shoot up even higher, right? So you want to be cautious. It just, we might see a bit of a dip and goes up higher, a bit of a dip goes up even higher. So if you're trying to buy eggs, definitely something to be on the lookout for. I think for me personally, I probably would not jump in at this moment, but I'd be on the lookout for the next day or two for a good time to buy in. And also, I guess one thing that we do need to consider and think about is the fact that it's very possible in DFK that we've seen our bottoms over here at the beginning of the year and in December and in early January, right? I'm personally one of those people. I know Grady talked about it on his show the other day, last night, and some of the positive stuff we're seeing from crypto and DFK space. I'm one of those people that really think that in the global economic market, we're going to see another step down. I know that we're seeing we're seeing a rise. I don't want to say a bull run, but we're seeing definitely a massive step up in Bitcoin. I think if we took a look at the index, the S&P 500, over the last couple of days, we have seen a rise in that as well. So I think a lot of people are really super excited about a good economy, and so they're jumping in. But there have been so many different people that are seeing a broader economic issue still coming in another 3 to 6 months, right? Where more of this stuff is going to hit. That, the housing market is down, and there's a lot of other things that are still coming. And even though the Fed raised interest rates less than they had in the past in December, they still did raise it, right? It's not like we're going down quite yet. So, rates are still going up. They're just not going up as much. That's my understanding. I haven't looked at that news in the last couple of days, so I do need to look at that. But there are still some other issues. Housing market, I think, is looking bad, and a bunch of other things. Anyway, I really do think that we're going to see another step down. And so this little bit of a run right now is what I feel may be like a bull trap, right? You don't want to get trapped in this where you FOMO in, you jump in a whole bunch of things, you think, oh no, now's the time. If I don't get in now, then I'm going to miss out. And then, of course, you get hit with another dip down. I could be wrong, and all of those other people that I listen to could be wrong, but I don't think so. So I'm excited for the little bull run that we've got going on right now. And that's not to say you can't take advantage of it. Absolutely. If you've got a little bit of stuff, I would say now could be a good time to sell a little bit and take profits. I know we were talking about that on Grady's show a little bit as well. Grady was like saying how some of his biggest losses were when he was taking profits. But, my viewpoint on that is, if you're in there for the long haul and you don't want to hassle making more money on the side, then yeah, just buy and hold, and that should be good. But one of the things that those of us that want a little bit more action or to make even a little bit more money, then one thing that we might want to do is, as we're going up here, and some of these things are really hard to call, but like right in here is a good example. If you see something that shoots up quite a bit, it might be a good time to sell a little bit of it, like 10% of what you've got. Not a lot, 10, 25%. I wouldn't say any more than 25% personally, but 10% is usually a good amount. And when you see a big sharp spike like that, sell 10%. And then wait for it to dip back down. You know it's going to, at least some amount. I mean, it's not going to shoot up straight to the moon forever and ever and ever. There's got to be a bit of a pullback at some point. Not every time is it going to be pulling back lower than it was earlier over here. So like on the December the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, when Bitcoin was over here a little bit closer to 17,000. And then, of course, we see this big spike up to 18.1, and then it drops all the way down to 16.5. Not all the time are we going to see it drop down lower than it was before, but sometimes we will. And again, here's another great example of another big spike up. Oops, where was that? Right in here. So we see we've got this big spike up, and then some people sold, and you might, then of course it shot up again, and they might have been like, oh man, maybe I missed out, but of course it comes back down. If you are not really good at doing these types of faster trades, I would say you absolutely can get wrecked in this. So I wouldn't say to play around in this too much if you don't really know what you're doing. And like I said, not financial advice. I know Grady hates that saying, but I mean, literally, guys, I do not want to be responsible for y'all getting wrecked on anything. So it's really not so much about legalities. It's about me trying to help and protect y'all. I know that sometimes, you know, us content creators, we can say things and it kind of sounds like we know what we're talking about. Some of us might have experience in some things, but there's a lot of nuances to some of this type of thing, some of this type of interaction or trading, or some of the things that we do, where there's a more involved than just the few words that we're speaking right there at the moment, right? And so it's not always like when you see a spike up, it's a good time to sell. Lots of times there's greater nuances. You want to take a broader look, step back, bigger picture, and see what's going on with the tokens and all this kind of stuff as well. But back to the point that I was making, when you see big spikes up, it's oftentimes a good idea to sell 10%, wait for it to come back down, and buy back lower. That way you'll have more. So you got 100 tokens, and it's right over here, and you've got 100 tokens. And if it shoots up, then you sell 10. So now you only have 90 tokens, but you've got more money because you sold higher. So when it comes back down and you buy 20 tokens now, because now you've got enough money, and maybe with this drop from 18.2 to 16.4, you don't have enough to double your money, right? You're not going to buy 20. But maybe you can buy, you sold 10, and maybe you can buy 12 back down here. And then when it shoots up, you sell again. And then when it drops back down, maybe you'll sell, 10 more. And when it drops back down, then you'll buy 12 back. And so you're slowly gaining more and more of the asset. You believe in it, you want to hold it, but there are good times to sell. Excuse me. All right, so let's see. Having said that, well, let's see. Sergeant said, that's how you get so good at streaming, though. Yeah, that is. Just more on it, right? As far as the eggs go, Blockchain Player One, I would say, as we looked at eggs a minute ago, today, right now, might not be the best time to buy, but definitely keep your eye out on those eggs. And since we know that tiers are going to be an issue in the future, and we know that heroes are going to need pets, definitely I would say start accumulating eggs and plan on how you're actually going to do that a little bit more. Let's see. Sergeant says, I agree, Rock. So much time and energy into these streams. They become costly in time and money. It's nice to know people like what we do. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So it is nice to hear. And, the like buttons and the subscribe buttons and all that other kind of stuff are one other thing that really helps. Like, if I only had 2 subscriptions and my videos were only getting 1 like, that's a little disappointing. Even if I see, and maybe even more so, especially if I saw 50 people in here or 100 people in here and it's only getting 1 like, I'd be like, what the heck is going on with that? And not only just for the satisfaction of knowing that we're liked, but also one of the things that I really want to get across to y'all as far as liking other people's videos and subscribing to channels, I would say unless you specifically have a reason to not like somebody's video in the DFK community, and I can't imagine why that would be, but I'm just going to assume that there's going to be some of us that are going to particularly not like a video for some reason or something, or be opposed to it. But I would say that those of us in the DFK community, absolutely, we should get on board with liking every video that's out there and leaving a comment, right? Leaving a comment, and I'm a little bad at doing this as well. So we watched this, or I was part of this video. I did give it a like already, but you know, when I was watching live, I did not, there's no way to leave a comment in this type of comment when you are watching live. So it's always good to come back in here. Awesome stream. And I need to be doing more of this myself on a regular basis. But I would strongly encourage all of us to leave comments on this. And the reason for that is not necessarily for the ego or the help of the streamer themselves, but really for the DFK community. One of the things that we all have to realize is that the YouTube algorithm is a real thing, absolutely. And by liking videos and commenting, just actually interacting and engaging with the content right here is one of the things that YouTube uses, the algorithm uses to get this video in the face of more people, right? And if we love DFK so much, we should be putting, or we should be wanting DFK videos to be presented to so many more people, whether that's in the NFT space or the crypto space to start off with, but then maybe just in the finance space as well. And it will get, these videos will get put as suggestions for more and more broader of an area, the more that they're being liked and watched and all that kind of stuff. So I would say, if you're watching videos, go through those, and maybe even if you've got an extra couple of minutes in a day, just go through somebody's videos and just like all their videos. And leave comments on those videos. Even if they're a couple of weeks old, I would say go back and leave some comments on those videos as well. Yeah, because that'll all help the algorithm a little bit more in the future. And hopefully that'll bring in, you know, you're talking about how do we bring in more DFK players? This is one way, absolutely. This, getting YouTube videos and content liked and commented on and engaged with enough so it's presented to more people that haven't seen DFK yet. That is one way that y'all, each one of you, can help DFK community grow, right? Let's see. I was sick for several weeks in December. Also, it was a killer. Yeah, I don't know what was going on back then. I took a COVID test and it wasn't COVID, but whatever it was, it lasted a long time. Follow on Twitch. Thanks, Sergeant, for suggesting that. I think that's, I think I would. Twitch is a better streaming platform. They've got a lot of more cool things for y'all as viewers in the chat rooms to play with and do. And that is one reason I do like streaming on Twitch. It's just, this is my first morning stream back in a while. And since most of the DFK community is on YouTube, I thought I would just get in here on YouTube right now today. But we will be streaming on Twitch, usually in the mornings, except for this morning. Get notifications of the app. It doesn't, job for pricing. Yep, it doesn't do a good job. The floor is 58C right now. Yeah, nice. Okay, so yeah, we were talking about the odd pet there for a little bit. Let me catch up in chat. Looks like a bunch of stuff is going on. Hope I'm feeling better. Thanks, Crypto Kong. Appreciate it. I've got a little bit still, I can tell now that I've been talking for an hour, that I've got a little bit of a scratch still, but I think it's fine. Not having to mute the mic nearly as much as I did a week ago or so. All right. Don't show the Mythic Squad. Yeah. Just crazy, it's a bug. Yeah, I think we figured it's a bug. Looking in the catalogs, I think we took care of all that. DFK site is pulling the wrong card background image. Yep, looks like, I think that's probably what we're gonna find. Yeah, gotta be on the right chain. Okay. All right, guys, let's see. It looks like I'm just about to get caught up with chat finally. Woohoo! Lucas, welcome on in. Who else is coming in here? J-Dub is in the house. Very cool. I think I've got everybody else. Let's go ahead and get these last few chat messages up. Name of the pet match is just the image bug. Yeah, we'll get that fixed up soon. If I skip over your comment and you really want me to reply to it, go ahead. This is, a lot of it's just the pet that we were talking about earlier. And Lucas in the house, welcome on in. My pets don't match either, some kind of a mismatch. Okay, yeah, so some kind of a mapping issue. Yeah, little bug, get it fixed up. My first mythic pet yesterday, so it's all good, happy with it. Oh, that's nice, Mookie. Glad to see you got a mythic. So Mookie, I guess that's one that you hatched yourself, right? That's not one that you bought. That's awesome. It's always nice to hatch those mythics. Mookie's got to run, so Mookie, you're probably gone by this time. That was 20 minutes ago. Great to have you here. Thanks for being in. J-Dub, welcome on in. Until the price of the real eggs goes down, DFK eggs, will that... Oh yeah, Sergeant, I know you were talking about eggs the other day, I think, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm getting a couple of people's streams wrong. I think you were talking about normal eggs and the fact that they were up. Then like DFK eggs, and I don't feel better about the macro market. Yeah, I think we've got more issues in the global financial macro market coming up. I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad to see we're on a little bit of a bull spurt. It's nice to maybe take some profits right now. And I could be wrong, and a bunch of these other people could be wrong too. Maybe it's not going to come back down and we've already hit the bottom and we're only up from here. But man, I just don't think so. BTC is still down 50% for the year, even with the quick bump up. Yeah, that is true. BTC is still down, but you know, the problem is, when do we actually call the bottom, right? And is the bottom, or was the bottom right here on November the 21st, or, you know, whatever this little section is, I guess right in here. November the 21st, 22nd. Was that the bottom? And whatever that was, what did that get down to? That got down to 15,699, or somewhere real close to that, 620 or something, right? I do not think that we are done. If you look at this, I mean, so we're up higher now than it's been since the beginning of November. So this is really good over the last 2 months. It's higher than we've been in 2 months. But man, from November the 9th, of course, this is the FTX crash right here. So we've basically recovered from where we were at before FTX. But oh my goodness, speaking of FTX, guys, and speaking of the macro market, since we're on this, Michael, welcome on in. How are you doing? There was something else that I wanted to take a look at, and that was, FTX Genesis. Bank reveals 1 billion FTX tied stake in Bitcoin. I don't know if that's it. The SEC targets Gemini and Genesis. FTX is granted permission to sell. That was 20 hours ago. FTX collapse may claim another big victim, right? This was just yesterday or 20 hours ago, right? Crypto lender Genesis. I'm not going to read all this stuff to y'all, but what I want to get at is, if y'all have not taken a look or heard, it's only been, you know, since yesterday, that Genesis and Gemini might have some issues because of more FTX fallout, right? So a lot of that stuff is in the news here in the last couple of days, even more so. Look at this. Back in November, they were denying bankruptcy after FTX plans, but now here in the last little bit of time, top stories 1 day ago and 20 hours ago, it's looking even worse, right? Here's a CoinDex report from just 20 hours ago. Let's see, the Hash Group today touches top stories, including allegations that Cameron and Tyler Winkowicz's cryptocurrency exchange called Gemini and cryptocurrency lender Genesis Global Capital sold unregistered securities. Right? Plus, to repay creditors, FTX has been cleared by bankruptcy. So there could be more issues coming up with this. Right? The SEC is probably not going to be giving up on some of this stuff. So just real dangerous. And I think we're still going to see some issues. That's probably going to bring down, I mean, if we have another, if Genesis has issues, and I remember other crypto people talking about that a while back, that could be another major hit to the crypto world, just like FTX was. And so, I mean, I feel like in a way, almost, this sharp rise just since yesterday is almost like a setup. Like somebody knew that Genesis was going to have problems. And so in advance, they pumped the market. And now they're going to sell at the top of this. So when all this Genesis stuff comes out and drops back down again, this is what I'm talking about, like selling profits here and buying back when it's lower. So as this news comes out, again, I don't know if this is something like this is actually going to happen. So, you know, again, be very cautious, do your own research, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just super suspicious. Stompasaur says, market manipulation? Question mark? How dare you, sir? I mean, exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I am, let's go back to tools on this, and just in the past 24 hours, SEC cracks down on crypto firms Gemini and Genesis videos that you can look at. So this looks like it's not necessarily, it might not necessarily be caused by FTX, but the fact is that Gemini and Genesis are in some type of situation or circumstance. Looks like SEC targeting them for selling securities. And man, I really don't like what's going on with the SEC and the way that they're targeting a lot of this stuff. I'm not really sure that I have any input necessarily as far as what I think about tokens or whatever being declared as securities or not. Like, I'm not really sure how I feel if they should be declared as them or not, or if people should be being massively penalized for accidentally selling some things that maybe the SEC or the financial sectors haven't really been very clear on if some tokens or securities are not. I mean, in a way, there's even been some concern here in the DFK space that some of the things that DFK is doing and selling, some of this stuff might be securities. So we got to be really careful with that kind of thing. And I mean, here we are, we're just trying to play a game. We don't really care so much if the tokens that we're dealing with could actually be considered securities or not, right? But whatever the case is, some of the stuff, I guess, is pretty serious. And so if they are hit with something like that, and Genesis has to go offline or has to repay something or pay massive fines or something else like that, and I'm not even sure if somebody could go to jail because of something like that. When you're, you know, unless you're specifically trying to have fraud or sell something as a security that you know shouldn't be. I just feel very cautious about crypto and tokens when dealing with the SEC, because I think there's just such a lack of clarity right now. I would hate to, if I was in position of authority, I would hate to feel like putting someone into jail or going that extreme on something that there wasn't that kind of clarity. But, you know, government is whacked out sometimes. I wouldn't doubt anything if they said, hey, these people are going to jail. I'd be like, wow, that's messed up, but it is what it is. Anyway, this could be another, even if the global economic market is on a bit of an uptrend, which again, I don't think it is, but we in the crypto space still have to look out for extra things like this that might affect us in the crypto space that wouldn't even be considered in like the S&P 500 or global market space. So, man. House Republicans moved to regulate crypto with new subcommittee. Winklevox firm is charged. Were they actually charged, or was there just talk about possibly charging? Sometimes I feel like I can't even trust the news that I'm reading. 80% of the time, I just can't trust the news. It's crazy. Let's see. Crypto firms Gemini and Genesis have been charged with illegally selling crypto assets to hundreds of thousands of investors. So, I mean, is that really true? The companies are accused of breaking the law by offering and selling products through their joint program, Gemini Earn, which launched in 2021. The Securities and Exchange, SEC, is in charge of the case. Tyler called the complaint disappointing and said that his company looks forward to defending itself. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. These people aren't trying to do anything illegal. They're not trying to, I don't think. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that for sure. But I don't think they are. Gary Gensler, who chairs the SEC, said today's charge builds on previous actions to make clear to the marketplace and investing public that crypto lending platforms and other intermediaries need to comply with our time-tested security laws. Dude, again, I am not an expert in this particular space right here, but it's my understanding that the issue for all of these crypto firms and things is that the SEC is not making this stuff clear to everybody. That's my understanding of the situation, that things are not clear. Cameron Winklevoss claims Digital Currency Group owes $900 million to clients of his firm, Gemini, as a result of the accused Mr. Silbert's group of defrauding his customers. Defrauding his customers. A Digital Currency Group spokesperson rejected the accusation, saying they were malicious, false, and defamatory attacks, and describing them as desperate and unconstructive publicity stunt. Yeah, Wild West, I think, is what we've got. But man, you know, there are some people that are going to be in the crypto space that do love the Wild West aspect of things here and will take advantage of it, right? Gensler described crypto as Wild West. Yeah, and I can definitely see that there are some people in the space, like Sam Bankman-Fried, who would take advantage. But man. Anyway, guys, be on the lookout for whatever this is going on here with Gemini and Genesis. That's not going to be good for crypto space. All right. Let me check on something over here real quick. And then we're going to get back to our fun stuff. All right. So DFK today, I think we got sidetracked. Let me catch up in chat, and then we're going to get back on this. Digital Sniper, hey, we need a bot for liking videos. Zellies, do something. Oh my goodness. Indeed. All right, guys, let's get back on track with DFK today. I was talking about a little bit of this stuff earlier. Oh, there the dashboard opened up pretty quick for me. It's nice. So if we come over here to the tavern, Apex, rock in the morning. Absolutely, Apex. We're trying to get back on track with our morning streams again. Oh man, the tavern took forever to load last time as well. Can I, in the meantime, open in a new tab? I'm just going to leave this running in one tab and come over to another tab. So I think the last thing we did is we looked at this pet, and we could see that we could flip it over and look at it there. This is the only pet that I own. This little 1-star or 2-star Fae. So I do need to get up on my pet game. We'll see where that takes me. The tokens section of DFK today is a place where you can go and look at all the token pairs, do a bunch of sorting with them, whatever you're trying to do with a lot of that as well. And maybe it would be interesting at some point to even be able to buy from here or do some other things from here. But that might be a ways down the road. Again, we can search for tiers if we want. Check the price of those when we're comparing gold and whatever. And then if we see something, I think this is still a work in progress. I seem to remember looking at this a day or two ago and being able to click on the pair, and then it opened up a chart to it. So I feel like that worked the other day, and since now it doesn't, maybe there's still a lot of real active development going on, and maybe that was taken down for just a moment while something gets fixed or repaired. Anyway, back to the tavern. So the tavern's finally loaded. Looks like we're getting listings here based on the time that was listed a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago. I really do like the fact that we see very easily what the traits are here. And if we go back, things get listed in here so fast. This whole page is only 3 minutes ago. And I don't know how many minutes ago we were looking at this other thing in the past, but there was that hero, here it is, 13 minutes ago, 2 advanced, getting sold for 58 crystal. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a good price for it. I don't know for sure, since I don't look at the genes underlying. Of course, you can click on the hero. Hero 134-306 in Crystal Vale. A monk, gardener, with a couple of advanced stats down there. Can I not flip that anymore? What's going on here? There we go. All right. Anyway, real nice to see. We can check out our Gen0s also. Looks like some of these Gen0s are going for 27,000. What the heck is this? Oh, it's something different. It's a Gen 2. Why is that getting pulled up here? Interesting. 129339. And then when I click on it, it's actually looking like there's a little bit of a bug here with that too. Clicking on 129339, and I'm getting the last one. So if I click on 173, I see 1073. If I click on 2053, then I see 2053. But if I click on 173, I still see 2053. So something's a little buggy and quirky with this. But like I said, new website from Christian Peter. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. I'm excited to see it's already up. Looks like there's a few bugs in here that still need to get worked out, but overall, I'm really excited, and even more so that it's being put out from somebody that we know already, right? Aphex says, looks like Jade and Crystal will meet around the halfway point, kind of like you called it. Yeah, so that's interesting that Crystal is coming back up and meeting with Jade kind of around the 13-14 cent mark. Oh man, I know that Jade had dropped quite a bit for a while and then bounced back. I don't really want to say that I called it necessarily, because I'm still not sure exactly what these tokens are going to do. They're doing a bit of different things than I expected them to. Too bad I can't just click on that and go right to a chart with it. But, you know, it'd be really nice also is to be able to have a chart where you can compare, like have the crystal prices right in the same chart with the Jade prices and add, you know, various tokens. That would be kind of cool as well. But I do think, yeah, I mean, ultimately, FX, you're right. One of the reasons that I was kind of calling these to meet together is because after the summoning event, which is now, I was expecting it to happen a little bit faster than it has. There's been some weird stuff going on with the token values that I didn't foresee, right? So I thought that Jade would crash back down a little bit faster to about the thing of Crystal, and I thought also that there would be less pressure on Crystal, and so Crystal would rise. Well, Crystal has risen a little bit in price, not quite as fast as I thought, but maybe things are just a little bit slower. I thought Crystal would come back up faster since we don't have the quite as much buy pressure for Jade anymore, now that we're not trying to do summons. Since gas prices are so much higher in Serendale as well, I thought more people would be leaving Serendale faster than maybe they are. I'm a little surprised to see, let's come over here and look at Jade. And Jade prices have looked like this over the past few days. So if we zoom in on just this little part in here, overall, since the 3rd of January, now let's see, it was the 7th of January, I think, when was our last day for the summoning event, right? So if we zoom in on this and we look at the 7th right in here, we notice that there was a pretty big pump of Jade after the summoning event. Does anyone want to toss into chat, why do you think that was? I would have suspected, and I did suspect, that we would have seen a crash in the price of Jade as the summoning event was over. People would not be trying to buy Jade to do summons. And I was thinking that most people would also suspect Jade to crash after the summoning event. And so more people would be trying to sell it to get out of it early while it was up higher before it crashes down lower. But instead, Jade shoots up. One of the things I guess I should really look at, maybe this had nothing to do with DeFi Kingdoms itself and had everything, it was just a coincidence. But let's take a look at Bitcoin. When did Bitcoin start rising up? January the 7th, right in here. So, man, even though we do see a little bit of a rise in Bitcoin, and if we're looking back at this, right around the 7th, I guess we do see it's starting to take off. Let's draw some lines. So we do see a little bit sharper rise here, right? And so if we're looking at the 7th, that was kind of right in the middle of this rise here. And then it wasn't until the 11th, though, that we really started to take off a lot faster. So we might be able to say that crypto rising in general, the rising tide raises all ships, and maybe Jade was a part of that, but I don't think so. I mean, yes, maybe a little bit, but I have a feeling, see, we're looking at Jade right here. If we zoom out a little bit, and then we draw our lines here, and this isn't perfect by any means. This is interesting. But if we draw the lines here, then the 7th, again, this is really interesting, though, too, because this rise does seem to kind of correlate with Bitcoin in general. Let's come back over here. What's going on? What were our ranges for this? Oh, it didn't keep those, did it? So it looks like from maybe December the 30th, or even, yeah, December the 30th up to January the 11th, and then a super steep climb after January the 11th. That is very, very close to what we see in Jade. Look at this. We do have a bit of a drop, which might be related specifically to DFK and Jade, and not necessarily crypto in general. But then we see from almost, I mean, from right in here at the 3rd to the to the 7th, this area right in here is pretty much where we see Bitcoin rising also. Now, at this point, around the 8th or 9th, Bitcoin skyrockets up, starting right in here around January the 10th or 11th, right here. Bitcoin skyrockets up, and Jade does not, right? And but the fact is that Jade remains flat from about that time, right? So let's say the 10th or the 11th. So if we look here at Jade, maybe what the deal is Bitcoin rising from the 1st of the year to the 10th or so is the trend, the uptrend that we see from Bitcoin and crypto in general. So all ships are rising when Bitcoin's rising, and so Jade is rising here as well. And then maybe I could say, just in some kind of a guessing, speculatory type of way, that right in here is when Jade should have crashed down. But because Bitcoin and crypto in general was going up, in fact, let me even draw this line. Jade should have crashed down. But because Bitcoin and crypto were up in general, then instead of Jade being down, it is up. But it's not up, up, up. It's just up from where it would have been down, which now means it's kind of flat. Right? Does that make sense when I show it visually like this? Jade should have crashed down, but since all ships got raised, including Jade, Jade gets raised to here. Right? And then that's what we see. So even though it looks flat on the chart, Jade still technically would be down if Bitcoin had done its thing. That's the only thing that I can think of that makes sense to me. But I'm interested to see in chat what y'all think as far as some possibilities for why else Jade might not be down. Are people really playing a lot in Serendale? And I don't really think so. I am going through more clay tokens, the gas token, than anything else. Super fast. I do not want my heroes doing a lot of questing on here. However, I will say I do have some number of heroes. How many heroes do I have in here? Reset. I've got 19 heroes in Serendale right now. And those heroes that I have, in fact, let's pop in here. We can even come and take a look at these. What type of fishing and foraging heroes do I have in Serendale? 6? Really? What? Why? I didn't think I had any fishing or foraging heroes in Serendale at all. Just because the gas is more expensive to do the questing. So now I'm trying to think, why would I have these in here? Huh. I thought I had left them all on Crystal Vale. Some of these might be new, or I mean, this one's Jade 29,800, 29,700. But some of these are not. Some of these are Crystal Vale and Harmony, from the Harmony blockchain. So that's interesting. I don't think I want these here. I'm going to need to ponder this a little bit more. Like, what was I thinking to have them here? Because I definitely did not think I had any of those here at all. So that's really interesting to me that so many are here. And then for gardening heroes in Serendale, I've got 7 of them. I really need an even number, so I need to get another gardening hero in here. And these are going after the gardens that I've got. And then also, of course, if we take a look at mining, then I should have a few miners, and I've only got 6 miners in here right now. Going after that jade. I've got my miners, I think, in another wallet. Like I said, like I had told you all the other day, I moved some of my heroes over to, I think it was DFK 2 account. Maybe not. Maybe this was not the one. There are a couple of heroes here. I'm not sure why these heroes are in this account right off the bat. But I do have a couple of heroes there, and I might even have a couple of heroes in this third account right here. Let's check real quick. Oh, no heroes in there. Okay. Interesting. All right. At any rate, I definitely need to get these heroes off of the Clayton blockchain that are on this Rockaway 808 account. There we go. Because I should not be having any, I don't want any higher expense for doing quests over here for fishing and foraging on the Clayton blockchain. These guys need to go over to DFK blockchain. I'm gonna need to put some thought into why they're here. Maybe since I'm on stream right now, I'm not, like, my brain just is not going to the place it needs to go to remember what I was doing with this. Oh, no. I remember. These are brand new heroes I bought just the other day. And because I had a bunch of jade, that's what it was. So yeah, all these heroes need to go over to Crystal Vale. And the issue was I had just bought them, and I think they were on a quest. Like, as soon as I bought them, the bot sent them on a quest, and then I was going to get back to them later, and I just didn't. In fact, I bet if we come over to here, like, let's take one of these heroes, even 38,373. 38,373. Yeah. Look at this. There is no 38,373 in my chart. There. 30. Oh, there's 38,373. So it is in there, and I've had that one for a little while. So again, why is that here? Oh, maybe it was getting moved around from another account. Like I said, during the summoning event stuff, and right after the summoning event, I had some funds in another wallet. And so I was still in the middle of moving things around a lot. I think that's what the issue is. But all of these heroes definitely need to go to Crystal Vale. In fact, this one is set to a CV. So why isn't the bot moving it over? Auto bridge. We're going to say auto bridge from Serendale. Bridge heroes from this chain that are marked on the hero sheet as assigned to a different chain. And so that's what we just did. So let's get all of these from Serendale bridged back over to Crystal Vale that are set according to the sheet for the bot. So we're going to test that. We're going to let the bot do its thing, and then that way we can just verify that they need to go over there. I want the bot to do as much as it can for us automatically. All right. So I think that wraps up my quick look at DFK today. Of course, it's been off and on for the last 2 hours. Did not remain focused on that. But good stuff. I dropped a link in earlier for the dfktoday.com website. I'll drop it in a link. I'll drop a link again if y'all need that. It's always better to do your own research and do your own searches and click on links that you're finding yourself. But then after you find the right one, definitely go ahead and bookmark it. I've got mine bookmarked in the DFK Today dashboard in my DFK folder there. All right. let us move on to the next topic. Or let me catch up in chat. Some of y'all are here. Aphex is here chatting up a storm. Let's see. Aphex says, I was very happy that you were pretty much the only one that had faith in Crystal coming up. Yeah, I definitely think that Crystal is coming up, but I wasn't sure by how much. It's good to see that we're back up a little bit. I think we're at 10 cents right now or so. And of course, rising tide raises all ships as far as crypto in general is going. So, you know, how much of that is Crystal rising on its own merit, or how much of that is the more broad crypto market bringing that up? That's difficult to say at the moment. Can everyone else, compared to everyone else saying Jade's going all the way down? Man, you know, I wouldn't have been surprised though if Jade did come all the way down. And for a while there, it was looking like Jade was going to come all the way down. I mean, when you take a look at what Jade did, in effect, Jade did come all the way down for a little bit. I mean, Jade was down all the way to 12 cents at one point, right? I guess that was back in early January. And since that happened, this line that we've drawn in here, remember, this line is drawn in the same time frame that Bitcoin is going up also. So it's really hard to say that DFK, you know, one of the things we have to keep in mind when we're talking about money and the value of these tokens, it is those few of us that are playing around right now that are putting these value on these tokens, right? The 1,000 of us or however many of us, we're the ones that are trading these tokens back and forth. And if we keep saying, oh, I think the price is more, and oh, I think the price is even higher, I think the price should be higher, then we're just putting that out and raising the price on our friends in the community. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is a way to play this part of the game. But there's just a small number of us that are in this space that are causing these tokens to go up, right? And of course, there's some maybe automated arbitration bots that are doing a few things also. Right? But I would say that you know, we could really have some trends up and down that could be pretty fast since there are so few of us in the space, right? And I'm a little wary of where things are at right in here. I would not, my thinking is, again, speaking for myself, I would not expect Jade power token or Crystal power token ultimately to be very expensive. Those are tokens that I would not expect to go up to, you know, $5 or $10 or anything like that. I mean, it's possible that they could. For me, if Jade or Crystal gets up to $1 or $5, I am absolutely selling a hefty portion. Depends on what's going on at that time. Like, I don't want to just say, no matter what the situation is, I'll sell half of my Jade bag if it went up to $1 or so. 50% might be a lot. It depends on how things looked like the previous weeks or months. But if we saw a fast spike up in Jade to $1 or anything like that, or even a slow rise, I would be a little concerned about that. I think the Jade and Crystal are going to stay fairly low. In fact, I don't know if this is going to be a popular answer or not, but I personally prefer Jade and Crystal to remain down about 10 cents. I would love for them to remain about 10 cents. And the biggest reason for that is hero prices, right? And before you go off and say, oh, Rock doesn't want hero prices to go up. No, I want hero prices to go up for the right reasons. And I bought heroes when heroes were a lot higher price too. So I've taken a massive hit in my portfolio's evaluation for having hero prices get lowered, right? Or actually, it's not necessarily hero prices as far as what they're getting sold for in tokens, but because the Jade and the Crystal tokens are valued less, and ultimately the hero is valued less, right? But if we come over here into the agent, we can see that hero prices are still pretty high as far as the power tokens go. And one of the things that I generally would assume is that a power token price of 32 is probably what we're going to normally see for a floor. So when we see prices like 40 and 42, 47, I'm really hesitant to buy right now. Like I was saying on Grady's stream, I was looking forward to putting in another $1,000 into DFK, and I wanted to buy some additional heroes. But looking at the prices here, I'm not buying in this market right now. This is a little too high for me. I'm going to wait a little bit of time, and I think we're going to see us get back down closer to 32. For a while, we had been at, what, 27? Or I think I remember seeing a couple of weeks ago that heroes were 25. That's a little too low. And not too low as in we need to make sure the prices stay up. It's going to be whatever it is it's going to be. But to sell a hero at 25 power tokens, you're taking a loss for sure, because I shouldn't say that, but for Gen 1 10 of 10 to be summoning, it costs 16 power tokens, and you need 2 of those type of heroes. So the cheapest heroes that you're going to get are going to cost you 32 power tokens. Now, of course, we recently had a Gen 0 reroll opportunity. And of course, I re-rolled several of my Gen 0s as well. And so for those of us that did re-roll Gen 0s, then we now have a situation where we can summon for quite a bit less, right? So if I pull up my heroes here, and let's make sure we're on the right blockchain. Yeah, we're on Clayton. And so here's my Gen 0s. And you'll notice that here, Remnella only has 2 summons right now. Of course, Harlsalt, which I don't think I re-rolled, still has 20 or so. But here is Galena with 1 summons, and Jernin with 1 summon also. So you see, since I've done the re-rolls, I've done very, very few summons so far with these Gen 0s. Right? But they would be fairly inexpensive summons to do some. So some of y'all might be asking, hey, Rock, you've got some Gen 0s that have 1 or 2 summons right now, and you didn't do more summons in the summoning event? I should have. Absolutely right. I should have done some more summons with these low summoned Gen 0s. One of the main reasons that I did not, though, is I didn't plan to do a ton of summons. I think I did about 9 summons myself. And that was going to be enough for me to at least have a little bit done. No, I didn't win a Gen 0, which is unfortunate. But I didn't really expect to too much with only 9 summons or so. But one of the main reasons that I haven't summoned a lot with these guys is because I really want to dive in deeper and look deeper for better pairs. Pairing them up a lot better. And I probably need to set aside some time with Mosh or somebody with Mythic Squad, or even Grady or somebody like that, to find some really good pairs for these Gen 0s, because I'm probably not going to be re-rolling these again. Notice that for Remnella, I've got a Berserk Berserk, for Harsalt, Seer Seer, and for Galena, Berserk Berserk. And I will say that when I re-rolled Remnella and Galena, that both of these just happened to come out perfectly this time for their subclass. And I'm not sure if I want to re-roll that anymore at this point. I might be very happy with the fact that their subclass matches their primary class. The other Gen 0 that I have that's really nice is this Pirate Archer, and it's mining. And a Pirate makes a pretty good miner. Archer makes a pretty decent miner as well. And I've got a blue strength. All right. And so for this hero to be doing some summons, I think it's really good. And as you heard me mention a few days ago, Crypto Dream and Gaga are two of the accounts that match up really well with this particular hero. In fact, let's take a quick look, because maybe y'all can help me find out who these players are, Crypto Dream and Gaga. So let me show you what I've got going on here. If I put in this hero right here, 1354, we're not going to compare it with this one. This number's in here from before, but here's my Gen0, however you want to pronounce that, legendary Gen 0, so on and so forth right there. Let's find a good pair for Gen0. And so coming over to, is it this one? I don't know if this is it. No, that's something different. Let's see. Let's come over to DFK Analytics and Heroes. We're going to find Gen 0s that have a profession of mining with a class of monk. It's a thief or archer, I forget. This is an archer, so we need a thief. And then say search. And so here are the ones that come up that I really like. These are the hero IDs, and then we see Crypto Dream. See if I can pull this out here. So Crypto Dream and Gaga, I think, have a couple of nice heroes, but I have no idea who these people are. And there's a couple of others that are decent too. I've got these 5, but these are the heroes that I would want to match with that Gen 0. And this is one of the reasons, going back to the reason why I haven't done a lot of summons with these, is because I really, really, really want to do some amazing pairings and not just kind of choose whatever is available in the tavern right now, but I really want to try to get, you know, find the people that have the best pairings with the Gen 0s that I have. And then hopefully one of my goals is to maybe do some kind of a trade with them, either trading something for their Gen 0 so I have that Gen 0 that I really want, or and maybe I'd have to give them, maybe it would just be buying it off of them, or maybe it would be doing some kind of a swap for a Gen 0 I have, or, you know, plus or minus extra stuff to balance it out. I don't really know what, you know, what the deal might end up being, or it might be just the fact that we each keep our own Gen 0s and we trade back and forth summons, and we get to keep the offspring, where one person does a summons and they keep it one time, then we do a summons and I keep it the next time or something. Whatever the case is, I need to find these people, Gaga and Crypto Dream. Let's take as an example this Crypto Dream one, which I think is one of the better ones. It's Serendale's Hero 1671. And if we come over here and paste this into here and see Nettle, it's a Monk Thief, Gen 0. And here what we can see is that we've got pretty good Monk Thief, which is going to give us access to a Berserker, or a Ninja, I'm sorry, and a Dark Knight. With a 79% chance of mining, we see that we've got a pretty decent chance at a blue Strength right there. So fairly decent, although there's not a lot of mustard, as the Mythic Squad likes to call it, right in here. Right. And I forget why this was one of the top ones that I saw before. Maybe because it also, maybe part of the reason here was because as I was looking at the possibilities for the main class, Monk and Pirate are okay at mining, which we have a high chance of getting. But then also looking at this, Berserk, Knight, Legionnaire are all also good at mining. And so if we're this confident that we're going to get mining, then if we don't get the Ninja that we might be looking for, then maybe it would still be really good to fall back on one of those other classes, right? Which we have a super high percent to get something in here. And even an Archer and a Dark Knight are decent at mining as well, right? Or good. So really, we're only talking about the possibilities of a bad miner could be the Ninja and the Thief, right? Monk isn't great, but not too bad. But if we look at Gaga's over here, I think this was the better one. And this was 362. And if we take a look at those, then this hero right here is a legendary rather than a rare, which I kind of like because of my legendary. We'll have a higher chance of getting legendary offspring. It's also got a mining profession back there. So again, that helps boost our mining, which of course the other Gen 0 we just looked at had mining also. But here we've got a blue stat gene of vitality, which I think is going to be really good for maybe some other aspects of it. It doesn't specifically help with mining, but of course my hero does have a boosted mining stat, which is nice. But looking down here, we see that this combination does provide at least a little bit more mustard in the passive 2. We have an opportunity for an advanced right there. So that's good. And that would be very nice to have a Gen 0 that not only matches in class and subclass, but also gives an advanced ability there as well, right? So that leaves us with a mining possibility of 77% with strength at 37, strength at 39 in the green, right? And then as we look at the other classes that we could come into, we see that we've got not only the Monk and the Pirate, but now the Berserker has an 18% chance, which I say is pretty good as far as mining goes. We still have the same 14% chance for a Ninja and Dark Knight in the class, primary and subclass. But then we also have a 3% chance for a Legionnaire if we don't get any of that. And so, of course, a 0.78% chance for an Archer, which still is a decent miner. So the only bad things that we might be looking at necessarily for mining is the Priest and the Ninja, assuming we're going to get mining most of the time. If we do get a Ninja, there is a 10% chance to get fishing. So that's kind of cool too. All right. Let's see. So anyway, I need to find these people. And I talked to Three Wolves the other day, and Three Wolves thought that Gaga might be Lady Gaga, but turns out that I guess he did a little bit more research and turned out that that is not the case. So again, do not know who Gaga is here. Do not know who Crypto Dream is. And I think these others are okay. Let's look at 1034, but I don't think they're quite as good if I remember correctly. Maybe there was other issues with them. Oops. That didn't look like it got the right one. 1034 is what it should be. And so here, it's a rare rather than a legendary. It's still good, but here we've got dexterity and wisdom. One of the things I do like about this is some extra tiers were added. So that's nice to see a little bit of that. Although it's in wisdom for our blue stat and we have dexterity for the tiers, which doesn't really match up for mining very much. Not that it's too big of a deal, but that would have even been better. We do also see a little bit of mustard down here, exactly the same in passive 2. So that's kind of neat. There is a little bit more in the visual genetics. But there was something in here, I think, that I didn't feel quite as good about. Maybe it was the 10% chance of gardening. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe it was the fact that there was a 10% chance for a wizard, which wouldn't be good at mining either. So if we hit the high percent chance of mining, we still had a 10% chance to get a wizard. Maybe I didn't like that quite as much. Maybe the fact that wisdom on both of these is as high as it is. Although strength and endurance, they're both next at 37%, which is not far off. Maybe I do want to take another look at this. Anyway, let's catch up in chat here. FX says Clayton probably feels more like home to them than the DFK chain. And I guess you're right with the graphics, right? Man. We go take a look at the map. Yeah, that I do really love the green Serendale map more than the icy Crystal Vale. And it's not because I'm more familiar with the Serendale map. It's just because I personally think that green nature looks just more appealing and like feels better, maybe emotionally or something, than a cold, Arctic, frigid, landscape. And that's just purely emotionally driven, which doesn't really make any sense as far as the game goes. But I guess I'd rather look at something that feels nice also. One of the things that I read about, I think it's been taken down over the years, but let's see, what was that game? I'm trying to think of this game. There was a female character that you saw, like she was like Tomb Raider, that's what it was. Tomb Raider? Is that the game I'm thinking of? Yeah. So early days, why was Tomb Raider avatar a female? There was something that was said years ago, and I do not know if it's still out there because I think it would be considered sexist now or something. Not that it is suddenly sexist now and wasn't, but I think there's a lot more. See here, initially going to give players a choice of male or female, but Toby decided to scrap the male option, having realized the two players would be more work. Man, it's possible that that's true, but I seem to remember reading a story, or not even reading a story, but maybe even watching a video where one of the guys said something like, if I'm going to be having to look at the backside of an avatar for hours of gameplay, would I rather look at a guy's butt or a woman's butt? And I know that sounds pretty sexist these days, but that was the thing that I heard years and years ago as far as why that is. And, you know, why am I bringing that up now? I'm talking about DFK. It's because of aesthetics in a game. So they specifically designed their game. Again, I'm going just on what I seem to remember from that news story years and years ago. But they designed their game to be aesthetically pleasing, or something that they thought that a young male audience would want to have up on their screen for hours a day, right? And I think that's the same thing here. I would much rather look at green landscape and nature than cold, frigid Arctic air. But the game side of me now feels like I'm a little bit more interested in not having to spend so much gas. So I think that Crystal Vale is probably going to be my home. Plus, I want to be using more Joule, right? I want to be burning more Joule than anything else because I'm so bullish on Joule. And of course, more of that happens over in Crystal Vale these days. Sir Mir says, yo, Rock, congrats on that mythic pirate. Yes, Brown Gent. Winning that thing from Brown Gent was amazing. Really glad about that. Let's see here. There is still people dueling on Clayton, summoning there and questing. You know, oh, man. Apex, are you summoning and questing and dueling? I might be able to understand dueling. And okay, so I will, oh man. I guess I'm gonna be a little bit hypocritical because I am doing questing here as well, right? And a lot of the reason that I'm doing questing is because a lot of my gardens are here. And I've got 10,000 jade locked right now that I need the miners for. And I've got quite a bit in the liquidity pools. I've got 700 in one, 750 in another, and then some low amounts, 100 and only 7 in that one. But I was planning to add more and beef up these last 2 liquidity pools and bring them all somewhat a little bit more even. So because I've got some in the gardens and I've got nothing in the gardens in Crystal Vale, I shouldn't say nothing. I think I did add another liquidity pool recently. So we've got, did I add that? Maybe I didn't add it yet. Jade and gray eggs is there. And also, interesting. Why is this in 2 separate, maybe one of them's on Crystal Vale? I thought I had a Crystal Vale pool. Maybe I'm just thinking about it right now. But I am thinking about putting a little bit of a pool, just a tiny bit, like $100, I think, into a liquidity pool on Crystal Vale. Because right now, the majority of my funds I do want on Serendale with those super high APRs. In fact, let's go ahead and look at what those APRs are currently at. I haven't looked at them in a few days. Oops, this is not the right place. Gardens. Seed box. So we're talking about 750 Jade Ethereum, 750 Jade Clay, and then some lower stuff. 873 Jade BTC, 750 Jade USD, and then a 650 Jade Avox, and then it just goes down from there. But still, 600 to 700 or 600 to 800 APR is pretty massive. I'm not going to necessarily dive into our spreadsheet fully right here at the moment, but let me just pull up something real quick for y'all. If we come back over to, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. If we pull up this spreadsheet real quick and look at APR stuff, we can see right here with even a 600% APR, putting $1,000 into that is going to be $16 a day gained, or $115 a week. That's 10% of your total deposit, your principal, you're getting in a week. That's pretty massive. And even if we know that the APRs are going down, they're not going down super fast. So even if we went down to 400 over the course of a week or something, you're still seeing $76 gain in a week, even from there, which is a lot higher than you're going to see in Crystal Vale right now. And because they're currently, or they were a little bit around 800 or 750, then you're seeing even higher gains per week. And so if you're seeing higher gains now, and then maybe you're expecting to see lower gains by the end of the week, it should balance out a little bit more. But an 800% APR is massive gains, right? And so most of my funds are in here right now, gaining quite a bit. And I was going to put a little bit into Crystal Vale only because I needed to get a little bit of ongoing or regular gas money. So if we come back to the DFK chain, what have I got in here right now? I don't even know. 282 Jewel. And a little bit of crystal in here. And some of this crystal, the reason I have so much crystal and jewel is because I was just moving around a little bit more funds, and I haven't fully spent it, I guess, yet. But part of this was to get into one of the pools here. So I'm going to be putting about $100 into probably the best, highest pool, which looks like it's going to be crystal. Oh, that's right. I was going to do crystal BTC. In fact, did I even go so far as to buy the seeds already? Let's come back into the marketplace. Maybe I even already bought the seeds. No, I did not buy the seeds yet. So yeah, that's what's happening with this money. It's going to go into liquidity pool. In fact, maybe I'll do that right now. Grady's in the house. Starting over. Oh my goodness, Grady. There's a lot to let's do. And yep, go ahead and say hi when you can. We'll be on for a little bit longer, I think. Grady, you had an amazing stream last night. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember when I first got on. I was saying it was way past my bedtime, and I was heading to bed. But oh man, when you are going on a when you're going in the flow like you do so often, I just cannot get myself to stop listening. And man, thanks for being here in the community and all of your input. So interesting and valuable and really inspiring and motivational as well. So thank you, sir. I know you're about to do some streaming today yourself. So you say you're about to catch up. And so, man, we're like 2 hours in right now, man. So even if you're going at 2x speed, it's going to take you an hour to catch up. And then that'll mean that we've talked another hour. So, man, you're going to be a while. And I know, Grady, you said that you were going to do a stream today yourself. I'm actually just about to get off my stream, which is one of the reasons why I'm a little sad sometimes when you say you're starting over, because then we don't get to interact. You've probably already hopped off. You're probably already listening over at the beginning, and we're not going to get to interact. So just as a thought, of course, I don't want to tell you what to do, but just as a thought, if, we're in a stream that's already been 2 hours long, it's going to take you over an hour to catch up. Maybe it might be more fun to have you in chat and interact, not just for my sake, but for everyone else who's in here too. They want to interact with you as well. And I think it would be more fun to have a conversation with you live right now than to be waiting an hour for you to catch up, or an hour and a half. Anyway, I don't want to tell you what to do, but it's just thought running through my head. But I am glad you're here. Let's go ahead and catch up in chat the rest of the way. Let's see. Tim Butter says, I'm in a liquidity crunch right now. Too many heroes. Too many heroes? Really? So, I'm in a position right now where I'm kind of looking for more heroes. And so I'm wondering why you say you have too many heroes, Tim. Are you in a, I guess what you're saying with liquidity crunch, you're in a situation where you've got all of your funds wrapped up in heroes and you need some funds to do things. And so you're trying to sell those heroes. Probably you've got too many and you need funds for other things like maybe gardens or whatever. For me, I would say just put those heroes to work. Like get them farming, get them foraging, fishing, gardening, mining, whatever they need to be doing. And it might take a few days or a week or a couple of weeks. But I think if you've got them working, you should bring in some funds. Of course, one of the things that is going to help them bring in funds, the gardeners and the miners especially, is if you've got money in the garden pools, right? Gardeners aren't going to do that great if you don't have money in the garden pools. And so maybe in that case, like I've always said, one of the first things that we should be doing is probably putting money into the gardens even before anything else. But once you have money in the gardens, then maybe looking at some other things. But being in a liquidity crunch is not fun, no matter what the issue is. You have any Gen 2s you could summon with? I might. Do y'all want me to look at my Gen 2s? Let me catch up in chat real quick, then we'll look at Gen 2s. Avex says, I agree for the ecosystem. I'm pretty sure Jewel is going to end up being 5-to-1 or more than the power tokens. Yeah, I would say that Jewel is really going to zip up higher. I know we were talking about the price of some of those tokens earlier, and this was some number of minutes ago. But yeah. Rock, send me your wallet IDs and I can find some interesting stuff. Ooh, Stomposaurus, are you still here? I might have to take you up on that, Stomposaurus. So this wallet ID, which I think, let's see if we can type !wallet. Can you type that into chat? Let me just check here real quick. I know that on Twitch, I have these ! commands that we can type. Y'all can type them as well. But it looks like here on YouTube, it's not set up for that. So let me just copy and paste. Here is Rock 808 wallet is that one right there. And yeah, I mean, if you want to find some good heroes, this is the wallet that I have got all the Gen 0s in. So those 4 Gen 0s. Oops, what are we looking at here? Reset. What's going on? What am I looking at? Rock 808, heroes. Oh, this is the wrong realm. Let's hop back over to Clayton and look at the heroes over here. So this is the wallet where I've got all those Gen 0s. And so we've got a pirate, we've got a seer, we've got a couple of berserkers. So I do have a berserk, and a seer, which I thought about pairing up together. But the more I look at these, the more I'm a little dissatisfied with their pairing. They do match on the class and the subclass. And the fact that they're both legendaries is really nice. But if we take a closer look at this, this is Crystal Veil Heroes 30 and 1355. And if we come over here and look at DFK and hero data, I think this is already set up to, there's 30 and 1355 already set up for us. So here's our Zerk, Seer, both legendaries. But if you scroll down a little bit, a couple of the things that we want to notice is that we've got a luck bonus and another luck bonus over here, which does not help for the things that we probably want. And then if we look in here, we see that, oops, both of these, this has a gardening and a gardening. And so seer gardeners are great, but we're really looking at gardening for a, I mean, with these two guys, we're really looking at getting a gardener most out of that. And the gardener would have probably luck for a bonus right there. As we look back in here, we can see that we've got, we do have a passive to yellow or mustard. So that's pretty interesting. And then a visual unknown there. But as we look over here, we can see that we've got 86% gardening and 30% berserk, 30% seer, which does make a good gardener. But then we've got a shapeshifter, thief, priest, and it's just not really fantastic. Luck is high, wisdom is good, of course, for gardeners. But it's just not as good as I think I could find. I think if I paired either of these heroes, Remnella or Hurlsalt, with other people's Gen 0s that had a better match, I could probably get something better out. And so maybe I'll end up swapping or trading one of those Gen 0s for another Gen 0 that pairs up with mine. Maybe we can have a win-win situation where someone else could take one of these Gen 0s and I could take one of theirs, and it would work out best for both of us that way. And then of course I've got this other Zerg rare, and this one I think is a little bit better because it has mining at least, but it also has luck. You know, but Zerg and mining go better together than this Zerg and this gardener. Zerg gardening don't really go great together, right? Although this one has a seer gardening, and a wisdom, which does go well together. So I'm really happy to have this one. And then of course this is also the wallet where we've got that lovely purple, but it's not in this realm, it's in the other realm, from Brown Gent. Yeah. Let's, yeah, so Stumposaurus, you were offering to do a little bit of looking around to find some interesting stuff. I'd love it if you can find some stuff. We would definitely do some summoning. And like I said a little while ago, I was doing some really deep searching on DFK Analytics for much better pairs. And so I think contacting Gaga and Crypto Dream, as I had mentioned earlier, would be really good for me to find out who these people are. So if any of y'all know, or even have an idea of how to find out who they are, that would be good. I think one of the things we could possibly do, I'm not sure how I feel about this, because there's a little bit of anonymity that some of us might like, and maybe there's a reason that these people are named something different. I don't know. I feel a little weird, like snooping around. I feel like it's kind of like snooping around somebody's house or something when you're looking into wallet addresses and doing deep dives. But of course, all this stuff is public. I mean, it is possible that we could jump into the wallet addresses over here and we could look back at their history to see maybe who they've traded with before. Maybe, you know, if you found out, for example, that Frisky Fox gave some of these Gen 0s to Crypto Dream, then at least you would then know, well, maybe we need to go ask Frisky Fox if he knows Crypto Dream since he gave those Gen 0s over or something like that. And I'm talking about giving, like trading, rather than selling, right? If you sell, you don't necessarily know the person who's buying it. But if you're giving them out or just transferring them, then there might be a little bit something different going on there. Like maybe they're in a guild together and they know each other. Maybe they're friends in real life. Like I've got some friends in real life, like for example, my sister and a couple of my roommates and a couple of other friends that I've gotten into DFK over the months and months. And, you know, I would be able to talk to them and ask them for, you know, hey, somebody wants your heroes or access to your heroes or whatever. And my sister just won a Gen0 not too long ago. So I've been trying to get in touch with her for the last couple of days. She's super busy. And I was encouraging her to do a little bit with the S-Jewel pool. That's how she won, through the S-Jewel stuff. And so I was encouraging her to put a little bit in. I think she won with only 2,000 S-Jewel or something like that. So it was a pretty miraculous win, I think. Anyway, trying to get in touch with her so we can find out what she's going to do. I really want to encourage her to play the game herself and get more involved. I think y'all have heard me say before that she's kind of interested, or I think I've sparked a little bit of interest in her for playing around with the genetics, and she's a pretty smart girl. She is doing programming right now. In fact, she was thinking about even doing some programming for DFK as I was talking to her about some stuff. She's been doing programming for, oh man, years, decades even. And a lot of UI development also, and kind of a little bit of web development too. So it'd be really cool to get her in the space. And maybe that since she's won a Gen0, she'll play a little bit more. But she's also got a massively full life, doing things for her job and offline, and her social life and stuff as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. But if she's not going to be doing something with that Gen0 on a regular basis, I might say, hey, do you mind if I kind of take the reins on that a little bit and put it to good use? Even if it stays hers, I don't know if she's going to, you know, if we're going to do some kind of trade or I'm going to buy it off of her. But even if we don't and she wants to keep it, then maybe I'll help to put it to good use, or put it to better use than just sitting in a wallet where I did loan her one of my my waifu bots as well. So she is running with a waifu bot, and hopefully she'll get inspired enough to buy her own here real soon. But anyway, enough about that. The fact of the matter is, or the whole point was, we want to try to find out who some of these people are, and we might be able to do that by deep diving into the wallet address histories and stuff like that. Let's see. You don't summon for abilities. I kind of do want to summon for abilities, yes. But I also want to summon for a few other things as well. And I'm not sure I even have decided all the things that I want to be summoning on, but certainly abilities are one of them, absolutely. Right. But there are some other things that I want to summon on as well. FX says, I'm forging questing there, mining there. You're forging, and you're forging on Serendale? Because I have too many miners for Crystal Vale. Not gardening anymore as I pulled out, but the gardens for a while. So why are you oh, you're probably forging in Serendale because of like the Swift Thistle and the stuff for the stamina potions. And that, I can understand that, yeah, okay. All the duelers are dueling there, and why is that? Is there a better success rate or something dueling? Or maybe it's just the fact that the prizes are still worth it to be dueling in both realms, probably. That's going to be my guess, is that you probably want to be dueling as many places as you can because the profits are still better. Like, high enough over the gas fees is going to be my guess. I think Zealous is building an auto transfer for you. Once you duel heroes, you can cool down and have them duel on Clayton. Oh, wow. Whew. Yeah, Zealous and DFK Helper is amazing. So I do want to spend a little bit of time sometime today and talk about that. But man, I'm already past 12 o'clock, which I wanted to stop then. But DFK Helper, amazing, amazing tool. And there's a lot of stuff here for the duels that we got set up with a little bit. Tabs for all kinds of things. And it seems to be getting more extensive, integrated, and amazing every day. So my goodness. Thanks to Coolio and Zellies for working on that. And the other team members, I think they've got a couple of other people working too. So thanks to all of those people. Let's see. Crypto Grady, of course, starting over. He's going to be away for a while. See you in a few hours, right? Ah, man. Yeah, 2x watchers will be up to speed in time. Yeah, it's still going to take him, when we're 2 hours in, it's going to take him an hour to catch up. Plus, that'll mean that over that hour, we'll have streamed another hour. So it'll take him at least another 30 minutes even on top of that. So we won't see him for an hour and a half. Which is why I wish that might stay with us here. So like I said, we're just about to wrap up. Yeah, last night's stream from Grady was amazing. Yeah, oh my goodness. Last night's Grady stream, I think, I don't want to talk about that right now, but when we get back on his stream, because I think he's streaming again today, then I'll talk more about that. But yeah, if you've not seen Grady's stream, I can't imagine anyone here would not have. But definitely go check that out. Lots of really good information. Yeah, lots of alpha. Well, let's see. So Ramir, I'm keeping all my LP money in Serendale. Prices seem to be somewhat stabilized and APRs are still tremendous. Yeah, so I agree fully with this. All my LP money, except for, like I said, $100, is going to go into Crystal Vale. But the only reason that that money is going into Crystal Vale, $100 of it, is because I need to, I don't want to be bridging the money back and forth. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get back to Crystal Vale. So what I'm going to be doing right here is this 1800 crystal and 282 jewel. Most of this is going to go into, and did I get USDC? No, it's Bitcoin. Trader, how much Bitcoin do I have? Looks like 0. So what I want to do is I want to get into the Crystal BTC pool here, which in Crystal Vale, which I think is the highest APR pool in Crystal Vale, and it's not even much of that right now. So if I trade some of this jewel in, man, I hate selling jewel, but if we sell 270 of jewel into BTC, or actually let's go into Crystal. Let's just see. So that's 600 crystals. So even with all of this 282 jewel, it's still not enough crystal to balance out with the 1800 crystal that I have for the liquidity pair. But I do plan to get into crystal. So I'm going to even it out, and I'm going to even out the amounts. And ultimately, I'm going to be getting into the Crystal BTC pool here. And the main reason is because as I put all of these funds into a liquidity pool, I'm going to need to replenish some crystal and some jewel for gas on a regular basis for all the heroes that I still have here, the 49 heroes that I still have here doing questing. All right, and if we look at this and we look at fishers and foragers, apply, 12 of those are fishers and foragers. And so let's go to mining. 17 of those are miners, which again, here in Crystal Vale, not sure why I've got quite so many miners here. They can probably be moved over to Serendale now. I think originally I had a lot more here. But this all needs to get worked out. And this is one of the reasons that I wasn't streaming for a little while, is because I just have so much work I need to do. And as y'all can see, when I'm streaming, I'm not actually able to get much real work done. And so it's a little bit of a problem. Let's see here. Rock Polygon, whoa, there it finally is. So remember, I did the exclamation mark wallet, and finally, many minutes later, it gave me the Polygon wallet address. Oh, but this one's, that wallet address gives you my Polygon wallet address for the rewards tickets. That's where the rewards ticket tab went to. I guess that's not it. But yeah, so that's not an address to be sending DFK stuff to necessarily. That's not my DFK wallet address. This is really my sandbox, game, and Polygon wallet address. So not good to send DFK stuff to there. Let's see. All professions are kind of good on SS. If you look at his percent gains, yes. Yeah. If you look at the percent gains on that, I do think that that was good. Stomposaurus, what would you like to find? Anything specific? So Stomposaurus, if you're still here, I think what I would like to find is, man, I'm just so behind in chat. I think what I'd like to find, that really depends on the different heroes. So for Remnella, who is a berserker doing gardening, legendary, I don't even know what we're gonna find for that. I don't even know. Maybe there'll be some mustard stuff that turns out that there's a lot of actives, passive things that make a lot of sense. I don't even think it necessarily needs to match with a primary class subclass like it does. I'm not necessarily requiring primary and subclass matchup. Maybe for Remnella specifically, there would be some kind of different thing, but I would like to get away from a berserker doing gardening. And so maybe something matching up where, of course, you know, you're going to match a berserker with a seer most likely, right? But I don't know, maybe not. Maybe what we would really want to do is try for a Gen 1 that is a little bit more aimed at something specific. So either what we want to do is maybe we want to look for a gardening hero. Like in that particular case, I've already got the perfect one. This seer that's already doing gardening is going to be fantastic for that, right? But as we look down here at the matching, we can see gardening is 86%. So if we're trying to get a gardener, that's good. But what about the other things here? So a seer and a seer right there are pretty good for gardening, but the berserker's not great for gardening, and the warrior not great for gardening. Shapeshifter, I don't really know what a shapeshifter I don't have all this stuff memorized like some of y'all do. If we take a look at infographics, shapeshifters, as far as gardening goes, not bad at 110. Generally, though, what I would say, Stomposaurus, what I'd like to do when I'm looking for professions, and I'm not necessarily sure that I'm fully hyped up on professions, but one of the things in my mindset right at the moment is I would like to have more floor heroes or floor type of heroes. Of course, it's better if they're not even floor heroes, but I would like to have more questing heroes in general. And so for me, I guess that means at the moment looking for professions, even though that's not ultimately where I want to be down the road. I would like to have 100 more profession questing heroes, right? And so maybe one of the things that we would want to look at is what do we need to do to match Remnella, that berserker up with something to get sages, paladins, summoners, dread knights, priests, seers, wizards, scholars. So if we could get maybe a seer, and I would say that when we're trying to match those up, whether it's foraging, fishing, mining, gardening, personally, when I look for heroes in the tavern and I'm looking for a profession, I do not like to go below this 130 row. So if I'm looking for gardeners, there've got to be sage, paladin, summoner, dread knight, priest, seer, wizard. That's it. Don't go any below that. And unfortunately, for some of these, like fishing, thief is the only basic class that matches. And foraging doesn't have any basic class that matches, which makes it really tough because then you end up spending more, paying more for some of these higher classed heroes. So in general, what I would do is I might drop down to archer for foraging and say archer would be an okay forager as well. And in that particular case, I might also go down to including a shapeshifter in fishing a little bit here, and possibly even a spell bow, although that would be really expensive probably. And dread knight would be expensive. So maybe shapeshifter and up, here archer, and so on. And then for mining and gardening, it's really easy. Priest, seers, wizards for basic class, legionnaire, knight, berserker, warrior are good for mining. And then if we happen to find some inexpensive sages, summoners, paladins, and that kind of stuff are good too. But if you're going to help out, which again, I would love to chat with you behind the scenes a little bit more. Maybe we can chat about it and try to focus on something, or maybe you can even maybe educate me a little bit more on what types of things we might want to look at for this goal specifically. But right now I'm looking at row 130 and above for the specific groups. And of course, if we can hit some mustard, that's always great as well. Since I am specifically kind of looking for questing heroes, I do think that having stat growth in the proper stats are a little bit more important to me for this specific project. And so perhaps having for a gardener, for example, to have wisdom and vitality some way pair up, or having the heroes match up with that would be a little bit better. And if we're trying to match up Remnella with somebody who's got luck, then really the assistant is going to need wisdom or vitality if we're trying for a gardener. And then as far as the other stuff goes, you know, here's gardening, which I think is going to be fantastic as a assistant to have, because that means that as we create a Gen 1, and then as we look forward to Gen 2s, Gen 3s, and Gen 4s later on down the road from that, then we can really lock in the profession matched with the other things like the wisdom and the vitalities that we're looking for, and really hone in on really good gardeners is what I'm getting at, or really good foragers or miners or fishers, right? And then of course we will want to be looking at PvP heroes sometime later on down the road. I've got Mosh looking into or helping me with that a little bit. He and I need to link up, I suppose, and chat a little bit more about that. But yeah, maybe we can talk a little bit behind the scenes, but that's a little bit of an idea. Zabu, welcome on in. How are you doing? Zabu, you're lucky. I was planning to be out of the stream by now, but I guess there's just so much to talk about. I'm catching up with stream. Crypto Grady. Pirate Seals, Stomp, baby. Oh, Crypto Grady, does that mean you're all caught up? You must have skipped ahead a bit. That's fine. for you to be caught up now. Great to have you in chat. Let's see. Most abilities, matching class requirement. Yeah, so I think I answered that. The matching class subclass is not that big of a deal, but as one of my main focuses that I'm looking for is to try to develop more targeted questing heroes. And so as long as we kind of line up a few things that make them good questers, I think that's kind of what I'm looking at this very moment. And then I'll be looking at PvP heroes a little bit later on down the road and all that kind of stuff. So for those things, I don't think that a lot of mustard is required for questing. So I'm not that interested, but if you can find some things that do have a lot of mustard, these yellows, then definitely we want to make note and remember those hero IDs and come back to them later on for some other stuff later too. Time to hire a, what is that, a PI? Oh, like a private investigator to get those good matches? Yeah, exactly. You know, talk about PIs and like private investigators and researchers. I think that is something that some of y'all out there in the audience might be able to provide as far as like a service or a help to the community, right? Because, and of course, I'm sure that there are going to be tools. There are already tools. I know ADFK has some good stuff that is, they've got, I think their best tool is behind a paywall, which I do plan to get into and pay. I think I've paid for a little bit of their time or that time already, and then it wore off, and I've just been so busy I haven't seen it good to renew just because I've been in there so little. But it is something that's really good to have. All the things that I've seen from Grady's stream, he has paid for their paywall for ADFK. It's all really good stuff, and I think that I need access to all that as well. It's just I haven't had time to get in there. But there will be some need or some help for some of y'all to do that kind of thing. So yeah, I think being a PI or kind of like a matchmaker as a human to go out and find things, get all those good matches is pretty good. And I think Mythic Squad does a good job of that. Grady probably could do an amazing job at that as well, but I think he's got so much on his plate, I'd hate to ask him to do that specifically. It's public. You can go and look who owns any house. Same deal. Yes. Yeah. And I think you were talking there about the DFK analytics and seeing who owns this. Yeah. Everything is public on the blockchain. So, you know, doing a little bit of snooping around could be interesting. You imagine it's Satoshi's, right? Let's see. But yeah, you know, it's a public ledger, but good point. Yeah. So what I was getting at, guys, with that, and I know it's a public ledger, but you know, there's a, you know, you're walking down a public street. The street is public as well. But if you were walking right next to another person and staring at them and looking at them as they were walking down the street, that's just a little, like, I don't know, kind of creepy. Or I know that houses are oftentimes, you would consider those on private property, right? But even though you can walk up to it and all that kind of stuff, I don't know, it seems a little weird to me. But it is all public. Make them an offer they can't refuse. A lifetime membership to the Rock 808 Club. Well, you know, if we do find the right Gen0, I would make an offer on that is going to be really good. Hopefully we can make a win-win offer on a good Gen0 that we find to match up with a couple of mine. I mean, I'm really happy with my 4 Gen0s that I have, but they just don't pair up very well together. And I would like some that pair up a little bit better, right? And I know that there are some really good Gen0s that will pair up with mine. It's just a matter of getting in touch with those people. Wallet Rolodex, I think, is good for that. Basically building a sheet to match people's Discords with their known wallets. That would be really amazing for someone to put together. Again, I think that verges on, again, my personal fee, and I just cannot get away from like a privacy issue. But that's not something that I feel like I would want to do myself. One of the things that I've had in the past, you know, with all the giveaways that I've done, and when I was doing sandbox stuff, I was doing a ton of giveaways and stuff. Like every day we were just giving away sandbox NFTs and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to end up getting to that place here in DFK as well. One of the main reasons I was able to do it so much for sandbox is because that was, you know, last October, November, December, when we were in this massive bull run and still on the high from that. And there was just a lot of money. I wasn't down 99% in my funds, but now since I did put in a lot of money back then, all of my funds are down about 95-99%. And so I feel really like I need to be super careful, because if I were to spend even $1 right now on something, like let's say I just go out and I spend $1 on a hero from funds that have been in my wallet since, you know, last October or so. That really means that $1 I spend now is really worth about $100 that I'm spending. And so I feel like I've got to be super cautious. Of course, the new money I'm putting in now, dollar cost averaging in lower, brings down the average cost of everything, right? But it still pains me to spend even $1 here, because I'm thinking, man, that $1 I'm spending right now is really $100 of value I put in, you know, 6-9 months ago. So yeah, it hurts. But eventually I do want to get to the place where we're doing a lot of giveaways here as well. And what my point was, because I get sidetracked so much, is that during those giveaways, I would collect a lot of people's wallet addresses. And like even on this spreadsheet that we've got right here, you see that I've got Mookie and 9A7A and Cassie and Zelf, and all these people have even been winning stuff here in DFK, and this is the stuff that we were doing for the pet giveaways and all this. I still have it, and I still plan to get back to it. We're just taking a little break from it for a little while. But the thing is, I've got all of these people's wallet addresses for the giveaways stuff, right? And so there's a part of me that feels responsible for keeping that private, right? I do know that there are some people that do not want to publicly display their wallet addresses for whatever reason, right? Whether that's to avoid spam or whether that's for privacy and anonymity, I don't know. And I don't really care what the reason is. If they want to keep it private, I want to respect that and I want to keep it private. But because I've got so many people private messaging me their wallet addresses, I do not feel that it is my place to put a Rolodex together. And don't come and ask me for anybody's wallet address either for someone else to build their own Rolodex. I would not feel comfortable giving out wallet addresses. If you want someone's wallet address, I would just say ask for it from them, right? But putting together a Rolodex, I think, would be amazing and very helpful for us to contact the people that we want to contact with Discord names and all that kind of stuff. I think would be amazing to do. Yeah. So wallet addresses, game names like Rock808 or Crypto Dream or something like that, and then their Discord names would be really cool. And maybe Twitter also. Maybe the Rolodex could have something like wallet address, game name, Twitter address or account, Discord. Maybe that kind of thing would be good. But man, I think it would have to be an opt-in, right? I don't know. I don't want to tell someone to do that because I feel weird about making that kind of stuff public when they haven't really asked for it to be public. That's just me personally. even though I am very well aware that it's all public information out there on the blockchain. I just feel weird about it. But if someone else does it, I would certainly use it. Let's see. How about these Stumposaurus? You know what, Stumposaurus? I am a little bit behind in chat. I want to get off stream. I'm going to copy and paste this to this little notes thing that I had taken a little earlier. I'm going to look at that off stream or maybe a little bit later. I really appreciate you doing that. But at this point, it's already almost 1 o'clock. And I just want to start getting off here. So Grady's in the house too. My goodness, man. See, and me being so behind in chat, not even getting to talk to Grady. Grady, I know you want to go live sometime. If you could put in the chat when you plan to go live, Grady, I'd like to know. I'm probably gonna turn on my notification for your stream anyway, but it'd be cool for me to know here in chat. Let's see. Can't wait for the great Moksha shortage of 2023. Oh man, you've got so many heroes coming up past level 10. Whoo! Start buying those Mokshas today, right? Grady, love you, man. Absolutely. Also, Stumposaurus has some other things for me to check out. Sweet. All right, Stumposaurus, I'm going to need to thank you again a little bit later. Right now, I feel bad that I'm just kind of glossing over these because I really, truly am interested in this, but we need to do this on another stream because I'm trying to get off of here. I think that pirate is dead. Man, that pirate, are you talking about... I don't think you're talking about my Gen0. Oh, is a deal. Man, I misread. I think that pirate is a deal. Yeah. You're talking about my Gen0 pirate, I think? Or are you talking about the mythic that I got from Brown Gent? That was awesome. Man. Shout out to Brown Gent. Lately, I've been focused on skills, but I'm actually working on that too. Good for profession matching. I may reach out for some help. Beta testing once I get... Ooh, I'd love to help you beta test something like that. Stumposaurus. Absolutely, as I'm sure a lot of us would. I do not look at the class when I'm buying, by the way. I go to the actual growth stats of the hero themselves. Yeah, that is really a good thing to look at, especially for profession type stuff as well. And that maybe even for PvP stuff, perhaps. Although with PvP, the profession, I mean the class, is really going to determine a lot of what type of actions they have, right? We'll have to talk it out. Absolutely, Stumposaurus. I love this topic. Want to spend more time with you on it. I say summons for skills. If you can, then buy the heroes with the professions that you want. So, man. Yeah, that could be. I think there's a lot of ways to do some things. I think buying and summoning for both skills and profession. I think just do it all, I think is what's running through my brain right there. Just do everything. Crypto Kong, Rock, you are an animal, sir. Love you, man. Crypto Kong, thanks so much. That is a massive compliment coming from you. And, you know, I really respect all of y'all's opinions so much. I mean, y'all could be doing a million other things other than listen to me. So I really appreciate y'all being here. Thanks so much. Oh, there is something that I want to... Oh, there is something to do here. Let's see. I need to make sure that... what is that? Okay, got it. Okay, let's see. I had to do something on a different screen there real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and think we're going to wrap up here, right? I think that sounds good. I've been trying to wrap up for 40 minutes so far. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. I'll give you all a few minutes to say any last things or ask any last questions. Let's head on over to the docks so we can head on out. Grady needs full-time assistance strictly for scheduling purposes. I don't doubt that, man. Grady, are you still trying to catch up in the background? I have a feeling that Grady's little comments back here where it's just him listening and he's not really caught up with us yet. He's just listening to the stuff from an hour ago. Appreciate you. I appreciate you too, FX. You've been here into all of these streams. I think you're hanging out with everybody. Just a very active member of the community. Great to have you here in chat and all this kind of stuff. Grady might actually be here live with us right now. Kong, yes! Good stream, as always. Thank you, FX. Indeed. Always alpha from you, even if it's just casual convo. Yeah, so I don't really feel I give out a lot of alpha, but there are little bite-sized tidbits every now and then, right? That I do feel come to the surface. So I'm glad that I can provide that. It's really, I think my stream is more like a day in the life of. We're just here chilling, we're doing stuff, we're you know, doing our daily things, we're looking at what's going on. I mean, you helped me so much with the Serendale launch. Yeah. And certainly when y'all have questions about very specific things, I love to be able to go in to discuss, describe, show off an example of or something, or demonstrate is what I really mean. Various things. Absolutely. And so that's something that I really do enjoy doing. And I was planning to make some shorter, you know, 7 to 15 minute tutorial videos, but we've got so many great, better, I think, content creators like Brown Gent and Christian Peter and Grady and so many of these other people that are putting out really solid, shorter videos that it has made me a little bit more lax in that. Not that I should be necessarily, but I'm so thankful to have all these other content creators so I don't feel quite as much pressure to do that. And my personal life has been crazy the last 3 or 4 months anyway, so I'm glad that other people can do some of that. But more content is coming. Oh, let's see. Anyway, guys, I'm just about out of here. I don't see any other last questions. Day 1 was very happy. Oh man, I am glad. Jumped in at a average of like 0.24. Nice. With that Serendale launch and jumping into those pools. I am so glad when I hear stuff like that and that, you know, I was able to do something and people are making some money. Now keep in mind, I mean, I'm happy it worked out this time, but I make plenty of mistakes. So please guys, it's okay to get some tidbits from me. Double check it with other people, do your own research, because man, I love this positive stuff, but I would hate to hear about, you know, a couple of times when something happened because of something I said, y'all jumped into something because I was really excited about it, and then we all end up getting wrecked. I'm like, oh man, it wasn't just me wrecking myself, but I ended up leading 10 other people to getting wrecked also. I would just feel terrible about that. So make sure you do your own research. Absolutely. Talk to 4 other people besides me, and then if 3 people agree, then probably go with that, right? Says Eden says, Rock, buy heroes, bro. Don't let that crystal stay without making you some money. So actually, Eden, this crystal and this jewel right here is going to go into a crystal BTC liquidity pool here in Crystal Vale. So buying heroes is something good that I want to do, but right here in Crystal Vale right now, I've got 49 heroes, and this is in Crystal Vale, and 17 of them are miners, and 20 of them are gardeners. And what do I have in these gardens? I have nothing. Zero. If we come over here and look at my liquidity pools in the marketplace and Druid and liquidity pools, I've got crystal milkweed and jewel gold. So nothing in the proper gardens liquidity pools. So what am I doing with 20 gardeners and 11 miners in here not doing anything? So I need to get some of these moved over to Clayton blockchain, which I can't even understand why all of these are here. Because this is something I should have done a month ago. Anyway, I'm at a loss. I can't even imagine that I wouldn't have moved over my gardeners and miners yet. But that's something that I need to do. And then even with that, what I'm getting at is even with that, I have so many gardeners and miners that I still need to do something. And so I do need to have some gardens, or I need to put this money into the gardens here, so then the miners and the gardeners can work in Crystal Vale, because I need daily income from gardens and miners in Crystal Vale. And then once that engine gets going, then I can buy some more heroes. But until then, gardens are one of the first steps. If you have a ton of heroes and you have nothing in your gardens, that does not make a lot of sense. And so that's what I think I need to do first, is build up the gardens specifically in Crystal Vale to get that rolling. But I do hear you, Eden. Heroes definitely is a way to make some money. I was hoping to stream for the first time, but need to work on OBS. Oh, Sabu, are you serious? I would love to help you with your OBS settings. It's not really that confusing. I've been doing it for a while. There are one or two things that I think you need to be careful of, but absolutely, I will help you. I need to go eat some lunch first. I need to spend some time with my partner, and let's try to be back on, or I'll touch base with you in Discord. How about that? Because I don't know who else is streaming today. I know Grady's supposed to do a stream, so I want to make sure to watch Grady stream, or whoever else is streaming a little bit. And I don't think I need to be streaming to talk to you about OBS settings. So let's plan on that behind the scenes in some Discord messages, or maybe some kind of Discord screen sharing video chat type thing, maybe. But yeah, let's work on that maybe today. I think I might have some time for that today. Thanks, great stream, appreciate it. Born to Die, my goodness, Born to Die. Thanks for being here. Love the background music. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. That is it for the questions, last minute questions. Glad I could get caught up in chat. Everyone answered. Grady, if you are still listening out there at 2x speed, man, I really would have loved you to be a little bit here more in the present, but I understand you like to go back and listen to the whole thing. Love you, man. Cannot wait for your next stream. Super hyped up about Sergeant's stream and what we were all doing on there, and then also your own stream after that. Amazing. Guys, if y'all have not checked out Grady's additional solo live stream from last night, definitely do that. So much good content and alpha talk in there. It was crazy. Anyway, guys, back to the docks. We're going to head out for real this time, all caught up in chat. Until then, we're going to start the morning streams. Again, guys, one more thing I guess I do want to throw out before I just totally jump off. Tomorrow morning stream, as I do start up my streams again, it's going to be on Twitch. So let me drop some links for you that y'all can get set up for. Twitch DFK category link is right there. And hopefully we'll get some more DFK streamers on Twitch. In fact, Grady, I know that you've talked about getting on Twitch. I would love to help set you up streaming on Twitch as well, and I can help you with that. And then again, my own personal channel on Twitch which this is where we'll be streaming usually in the morning hours, is this stream, this link right here, right? And our morning streams had been on Twitch before Miami, and then I just never got back into them, but we will start up morning streams on Twitch again as usual, and the afternoon streams back on YouTube. Hopefully I can get back into a daily routine of 3 hours on each platform, 3 hours on Twitch in the morning, 3 hours of YouTube in the afternoons, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to wrap up. See you, see you, see you. Sabu, I'll get in touch with you. Until then, guys, have great DFK experiences. Check out everyone else's videos, like them to spread the DFK word, and I will see y'all later. Rock out.